And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On Rise Mere Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And finally, I've got him in the studio. British bodybuilding legend, Paul Baxendale.
Well, good morning, Giles. It's nice to be here.
Paul,
Thank you for inviting me down.
Paul, finally, I think, how many years is this now? I think we've been friends. God, we went to that show where Flex Lewis was guest posing in Scotland. That was 2015. So how long?
We've known each other a lot longer than that. You and I competed abroad.
That's right.
In the early 2000s. I think you might have been a novice back then.
I was a novice, but I made the Scottish team. Even though I was a Welsh bodybuilder, I competed in the Scottish show. I won the intermediates. I came second in the overall, and then they put me on the Scottish team for the Europe.
Dougie Black's team.
Yeah, the European Championships in Datteln, Germany, and it was 2005. That was I remember. Yeah, it was a good trip. That was. Yeah, and they put me in the heavyweights.
That was our first meeting. And we've been friends pretty much ever since then.
Covered in tan, we were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Covered in tan.
So, people will know you in the UK as you're a very good bodybuilder in your own right, a very good amateur bodybuilder.
Thank you.
You were one of Dorian Yates' training partners.
I was, yeah.
I think people would know you now because you have a decent following on Instagram. And the main reason is because you tell these amazing stories because you're a bodybuilder, you're an academic, and I think you mix the two, philosophy, and you tell these amazing stories of, your experiences in bodybuilding, your observations. You're in contact with athletes now. I know you speak to a lot of athletes of today. And, where do we start, really? So tell us what it was like back in those days, like, say, training in Temple as one of the top UK super heavyweights. What was it like?
It's almost surreal thinking back. When I think back to those days, sometimes it feels like another lifetime ago.
Does it?
It does. But other times, it seems like yesterday. Sometimes when I'm writing my posts and I'm thinking about a particular workout that we did together, my mind sometimes begins to then remember the most minute details of that day. What he was wearing, what I was wearing, the music that was playing, and the exercises we were doing. So it's amazing how the mind can remember. It kind of compartmentalizes certain facts and only pulls them when it really needs them. And that's what tends to happen. And so when I'm telling these stories, often more information comes to me as I'm actually telling them, which is great because I don't have a great memory.
No, because the reason I like your posts because they're very detailed, and I love the fact that you can actually remember. Like, you talk about the music was playing, like you said, the top that you were wearing or what Dorian was wearing for legs that day. Yeah. And it's like, you kind of feel like, because I started following the sport in 1990. So I was there right from Dorian's start in 1990, Night of Champions, second to Momo Benaziza. And I was lucky enough to follow, but you were there literally with these guys, training, a part of it. You were competing at the British finals and, in a real, kind of what will probably be viewed as like a golden era,
Yes, I view it as such, and that might be through rose-tinted spectacles. But I think a lot of people, and I think my followers include a lot of young people, the younger generation coming through. Yeah, a lot of them.
Why do you think that is?
They see the 90s as a golden era too.
Right.
The physiques that were on stage, even at the British finals, it was like a pro show. It was a pro show.
Yeah.
The standard was that good.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, back then, only one pro card was given out every year.
Yeah.
You didn't have to just win the British finals, your class. You had to win the overall, and then you got a pro card. So that was one a year. So you knew if you won a pro card, you could literally the next day step on stage in a pro show and you were ready.
Yeah.
Now, Dorian, he took 2 years off winning his pro card.
86 to 80. Oh, no, sorry, 88 to 90. Yeah, because he won the heavyweights. And then, it's crazy to think that obviously he was competing in the World Games, in
85.
85. And obviously so the guy in 86, he was a heavyweight British champion. and yet he had to win the overall to get his pro card. I mean, it's crazy to think how it's gone from one pro card a year, you know, with the amount of talent, you know. I mean, I know we got loads more divisions. We have Classic, 212 and all these other divisions, but, you know, there was only one men's physique. There was only one opportunity, you know. So how many bodybuilders fell by the wayside?
Oh.
In the UK.
Dozens and dozens of outrageously good bodybuilders who could have become great pros were just lost because they didn't win the pro card, maybe in a 2 or 3 year window that was available to them, and then they just had to get on with the rest of their lives, whether get a full-time job or they got married, had children, and so that little window was lost to them. But I mean, I'm still in touch with some of those people too. Some of the very top amateurs, at the time, they still love bodybuilding. And I think that's what binds us all together is this love of the iron.
Yeah.
Very much back then, you know, when I started training seriously in the 80s, the gyms were full of people who just loved lifting iron. And competing was really, competing was something that you did every year to show everybody what you'd accomplished that year. Like we didn't train to compete. We just trained for training, and competition was just something like a bonus on the top of it.
Well, Dorian kind of like, I remember one year the Olympia, he left his check on stage, you know, and it was like he was just not. He's like I don't really like posing, but I have to do the competing because otherwise, what's the point? You know, I'm doing it for this. I'm training to compete, but like it was you could tell. You know, I think the message came loud and clear that he loved the thrill of the chase, the process. You know, some guys, they love being up on stage. You have to drag them off stage. I mean, when I competed, I mean, I loved it up there. Do you know what I mean? But Dorian, you could see, and guys like yourself, you could see that it was like the way you talk about your days, you know, training with, you know, and Kenny Brown and you know, and rest in peace, and Johnny Fuller, you know, these guys, it's like, you know, you talk about it with real affection, with real, like, this was a really, really special time in my life.
It was, but it's not always been that either.
Okay.
You know my life's kind of story pretty much. I had an accident in 2007, freak accident, walking down a set of stairs. The stairs collapsed underneath me. I ended up with damaged hips and a damaged spine. And when that happened, I also tore my quadriceps completely off of the knee at the same time.
I forgot about the quads. I didn't realize you'd done the quads as well. I forgot about that.
My whole body was messed up and is still messed up. And when that happened, my reaction was that I threw everything bodybuilding related out of my life. So all my trophies, the videos, the DVDs of me competing, all my photographs.
Oh my God.
All signed photographs from all the top pros, Nasser and Dorian and Paul and Kevin. I just threw them all away. Everything was gone.
Why?
I couldn't have anything to do with bodybuilding in my life for me to recover mentally from the physical changes in my body. And it took over a decade, I would say, to get to the point where I even wanted to look at bodybuilding again.
Really?
And you were instrumental in me coming back to the sport. You actually phoned me and said to me, I've got you front row tickets to this show in Glasgow. Come along.
2015?
Yeah. And I came on, and James Flex Lewis was guest posing. And it was the first time I'd seen Flex since he was about 16, 17 years old.
yeah, of course, yeah.
And he remembered me.
Oh, wow.
How
That's
crazy
cool.
is that?
That is really cool. Yeah, I remember it well.
You know, I hadn't seen him since he was like a young guy
Just
in
a pair
this
of
small
quads.
Welsh gym.
Just a pair of quads.
And but it tells you an awful lot about the man, James Flex Lewis himself, that he does that. And he is that. That is who Flex is.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the great ambassadors of the sport.
Yeah.
So that's how I got back into the peripheral of bodybuilding, I call it.
Yeah.
And all I do is I share my stories, I share my experiences. A lot of them very funny. A lot of them involve Dorian slapping the ego out of me.
Yeah.
In Temple. And actually, let's do that. Let's pick a picture.
Yeah, come on then. I'm gonna bring up Paul's Instagram account. You've got a decent amount of followers. No, none are bought.
No,
Paul's too tight to buy him. He said. He told me. So like 44,000. You know, and the thing is, you get a lot of engagement as well.
Yeah.
To show that people really respond to this kind of, like you said. I think there's a real thirst, especially with the TikTok crowd and the tripods in gyms and people not really. Come on, let's be honest. They're not really training that hard. I mean, you know, like Dorian put Chris Cormier through like a reality check, and he said, like, you know, and this was after Chris Cormier was retired, and he was known for being a strong, powerful guy, you know, and it's like, and he just destroyed him. And he said, this is how, and Dorian said, like, this is how we all trained, every single time.
Every single time.
I mean, you told me, like, you know, you used to have, you told me some of the, you tell me some of the stories of, let's go through it. Pick one out, and then obviously we can, and you can recall, you know, that particular moment.
Yeah,
so have a look.
Let's go through it, and you know, let's pick a kind of
not a Dorian,
an early one. The Which squatting one.
Squat. Oh, okay. I've used that Smith
now
machine.
This is really interesting. A lot of people, for some reason, they misunderstand or they don't quite understand what his leg workout was. Did he squat? Did he not squat? And the truth is, he started his bodybuilding career barbell squatting.
Yeah.
Heavy weights. But he suffered a very bad hip injury.
You can see the scar, can't you?
Yeah,
I used to see the scar. Yeah, I remember in his side tricep. There was a big
required surgery, and he had that surgery after the 86 heavyweight class win.
Wow, okay.
Where realistically, he really should have won that show.
Yeah.
But I think with hindsight, he would probably agree that it was good that he didn't, because it gave him that extra time to grow and develop. So he had surgery on that hip, just really to take away scar tissue from the area. Now, after he came out from that injury, he realized barbell squatting just wasn't suited to his body type.
Yeah.
Now, Dorian's got very long femoral bones, the same that I have. And he found that squatting on a Smith machine with a very close stance, directly underneath the bar, with kind of toes at 10-2 and 10 past the hour, put all the stress on the quadriceps, with minimal stress on the glutes and the hamstring. So it's ideal for developing that outer sweep of the quad.
Yeah.
And so from that moment on, that's what he did, alternating every week with a leg press.
Okay.
So Dorian's leg workout is this. For quads, the starting exercise was always leg extensions, always, on that flex.
With a big pad, with a big
extension,
foam taped on.
Yeah.
I've actually photographed and filmed in there, actually. Dorian putting Ron Harris through legs. Sorry, go on.
The second exercise was either Smith machine squats, as we see here, and just look at the intensity on that face. That's what our working set was like.
Yeah.
Or leg press. And then the final exercise was always hack squat.
Right.
That was it.
I've seen him with his feet literally the heels touching.
Yeah,
like
that's how we squatted.
So that and hack squat.
That's what we did on hack squat.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Every leg press the same.
Okay.
If you look at photographs of him on the leg press, his feet are very close together, and he gets full range of movement all the way down.
I've seen him
all the way down. Now you need a lot of ankle mobility to do that, and I'm an advocate of full range of movement on every exercise. Now most people today, they don't squat that deep. They don't leg press that deep. And I would say they do still get great development. So I'm not going to say it doesn't work, because it certainly does work. But what I would say is the shape of the leg, maybe it affects that. If you look at Dorian's outer sweep, it was quite magnificent. You know, the shape of his quads were spectacular.
I think the thing with Dorian is his entire lower body. It wasn't just his quads, but it was his hamstrings, his glutes, his calves. Like he had his lower body, like there was people with better quads out there.
Yeah.
But maybe not top, like literally when he turned around to the side, like his whole entire lower body was so well developed and kind of so ahead of its time at the time. And those calves, I remember seeing those calves up close. They were just, it wasn't even the size of them. It was they were just mind blowing. I remember seeing him in Sidmouth, Devon, at Bob Bastian's. It was a seminar. It was February 1994. I was 17 and I went down, a couple of friends, my training partner. And
I remember that show. Eamon McCauley?
No, it was a different one.
Oh.
No, it was just a seminar, and the place was packed. I don't know how many people was in it. There was hundreds of people in there. And it's funny, when he came out doing the seminar, he had like a hoodie and a baggies on. And I was like, guys, I'm disappointed. He doesn't look as big as I expected him to be. Then he came out afterwards in his trunks, and like I didn't realize, but he was actually like I couldn't, because he's not genetically wide shouldered. But he just had so much thickness, and it's like Phil Heath. You see him in like clothes, and you don't think you expect him to be so like wide as his table, but then you realize the density, and I just went, oh my god, I take it all back. I was just, the whole place just freaked out. 290 was, and I just remember just off season, I was just like, I couldn't believe the human being could be that muscular. He was incredible. I was just going nuts.
I think he was the first British bodybuilder that really shocked everybody in the UK.
Oh God, yeah.
Wherever he guest posed, it was packed out.
Yeah.
And the audience reaction was always the same. Like there would be air horns going off, people screaming, going absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
This is him guest posing. This is pretty much his kind of off-season condition, more or less. Maybe a little bit further out, but he naturally has very thin skin. The dermis of his skin is naturally very, very thin.
Yeah.
And so even off-season, you could see the veins in his legs. You could see the sinew underneath the skin, the muscle tissue, the fibers, everything.
This was Sidmouth, Devon. This was
Sidmouth,
This was
Devon.
yeah. Down in Devon, I remember.
This was. And again, the pure mass and the density was something I'd never seen before. And I'd been around top pros.
Yeah.
Like early on in my career, I was very, very lucky. My first mentor was Johnny Fuller.
Wow.
And
Olympic competitor. Yeah. The Olympics.
Wonderful, wonderful competitor. And a great guy. I worked with Johnny. We worked together. We trained together.
Yeah.
We hung out together. He introduced me to post-workout shakes.
Did he?
Yeah, I'd never.
That was a revolutionary thing, was it?
Well, it was, especially for Johnny, because Johnny's post-workout shake was just to grab some raw liver and blend it up and just neck it down.
Oh no!
And
so that
was my first post-workout shake.
Yeah.
And so everything I've had since then has just been like incredible because.
I don't like this vanilla taste. It's not very. It's like, guys, let's do. Because I saw you wrote something about his diet and about the kind of things. It was crazy, like really out there things that he did.
Lot of offal, organ meats.
Oh, why? Because
that's what he believed. It was nutrient dense, packed with nutrients, and it is. It's just as a society, we've gone away from eating kidney and liver and hearts and stuff like this. But Johnny was a huge believer in eating that every single day. His diet was way ahead of its time. It was completely unique. No one else was doing what he was doing.
I wonder why.
It was something like Monday through to Wednesday, it was pure meat.
Oh, wow.
Pure protein, pure meat.
Wow.
Thursday and Friday be kind of like pure carbohydrate day.
Yeah.
So basically what he was doing was he was carb depleting, and then carb loading, and then on a Saturday he would just eat whatever he wanted on a Saturday. On a Sunday he would fast.
Okay. What? Nothing.
Zero. Just fast.
Wow.
So revolutionary wise, he was doing intermittent fasting.
Yes, I was just about to say because
he was doing carb depleting, carb loading.
So he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he didn't kind of scientifically know what he was doing. He just worked out that worked for him.
Right.
And that's what we were all doing back then.
Yeah.
Nobody had a coach. Nobody had a coach. Johnny never had a coach. Dorian never had a coach. I don't remember Lee Haney ever having a coach. You know, none of the guys back then had any coaches. But what we did, we experimented on ourselves and we talked amongst each other.
Yeah.
But obviously you had to get to like this certain level before you got accepted into the club, the big boys club, as it was.
Dorian was very well known for having his inner circle. He had like people that he would, like Kerry Kays, he would go. We've had Kerry in the studio last year. I mean, he'd have people that he trusted to give him the strict, because he didn't want smoke blowing up his ass. He said like, Kerry, go, you got £8, Dorian. Yeah. Because he knew, and then Dorian would know that, okay, I've got £8 to lose. You know, it wasn't like, you're looking great, you're ready now, and then he walks on stage and he's not, you know, and he had his people, he's very small. I think that was what added to the real mystery and the mystique. Because I remember, because I was in training in Hereford, which is only like an hour away from Birmingham, you know, and it was like, we just used to talk all the time. It's like, what is this guy doing? Why there's so much mystery around him, you know? And he really fueled that really by... Yeah. And all he was doing was just doing his own thing, distraction free, in an environment where there was, like I said, no distraction. His train when the gym was shut, you know. So I'm curious, how did it come around to you being accepted into that club? How did you, you know, basically start training with him and Kenny and all the guys?
Looking back on it,
what happened?
Looking back on it, it was like a testing process, but I didn't realize it at the time.
Okay. What
happened was I just done the NABBA Britain one year.
Okay.
And I decided to go down to Temple Gym and train there for the day.
Okay.
Obviously Dorian was already a kind of like cultural hero in terms of bodybuilding.
What year?
Oh, probably 92.
So he'd already...
92.
Was that after he won the Olympia or before?
Yeah, he'd won the Olympia.
Right, end of 92.
End of 92.
Okay.
Just won the Olympia. Just won the Olympia. And I went down to Temple Gym one day, and so I just competed. So I was in great condition. And Dorian and Kenny were down there. And so I went down the stairs, and my first image of Dorian, apart from seeing him guest post, was I just saw him leaning against the counter with his back to me, and this back,
yeah,
it was just otherworldly.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're obviously very meek and mild and very respectful in a place like Temple. It just has this aura about it.
You go down those stairs, it's like, what am I walking into?
So I start training, and Dorian and Kenny are training at the same time as me. And for some strange reason that I'll never quite understand, but it's obviously linked to my ego, why I stripped down to a vest in Temple Gym with Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympia, I'll never know.
Yeah.
But I was in great condition. I guess I kind of wanted to show off a little bit.
Well, even just like a little glance from Dorian, you're going to be like, yes, give me the nod. Give me the nod.
And I remember I was doing tricep push downs, and my triceps have always been a strong body part with, you know, always had nice feathers on them too. And I remember he walked by and he caught my eye and he said, "Hi." I was like shocked. I was like, oh, hi, Dorian. Oh,
yeah, day mate.
It's an honor to meet you, sort of thing. He said, "Good condition, lad. You just need some muscle to go with it."
Cheers, Dorian. Well,
and you know, it was like,
love it.
I don't know why, but I loved that. I loved the fact that he could just put me down with the truth. Because there was no denying. I needed a lot of muscle, you know, and it was just like to hear the truth, dead straight, was just incredible. I loved it. I actually loved it.
Did he watch you train, though? Did he see the intensity you were using? He must have.
He must have been glancing. And at the end of the workout, we all sat down around the table and we talked about, what show have you just done? Da, da, da. So we started talking with each other. From then, I made the decision to drive to Birmingham to Temple Gym to train there 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
And I was living outside Swindon at the time. So it was kind of like...
What, an hour?
No, close to 2 hours.
Wow.
So
3 times a week?
A 4-hour trip 3 times a week just to train in Temple Gym.
Yeah.
And I always made sure I trained around the time Dorian would be there. Now, I couldn't always guess the days he was going to be there, so sometimes he just wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But more often than not, I managed to get it right.
Nice.
And at the weekend, I would drive. My girlfriend at the time lived in Telford, which is only about 40 minutes, something like that.
The Midlands, right?
Yeah,
Midlands,
from Birmingham. So I would train at Temple on a Saturday and a Sunday morning. Again, so I would catch him either on Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes both. And over about a 6-month period, as I say, he must have been kind of watching and gauging, what's this guy got? Has he got what it takes to, train with the level of intensity?
Plus, this was leading up to, the era of when he put all that muscle in with the black and white, the Kevin Horton shots. I mean, that was 6 weeks out from the 93 Olympia. So your end of 92, 6 months. So you're probably April 93. So Dorian was kind of...
I think it was a little bit earlier than that.
Right.
Yeah.
But Dorian was kind of right into his...
Oh, he was off-season going into prep mode.
This was one of the most famous off-seasons ever, most productive.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to witness that whole off-season.
Oh, wow.
And one day I was training legs, and I was warming up, and I just got onto the leg extension, and he just came over to me and he said, "Oh, shame you're not training legs tomorrow, Paul. You could have joined us."
Oh.
And I said,
"Wow.
Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, I'm serious." I said, "Well, I'll stop right now and I'll come back tomorrow."
Did you?
Yeah. And that's what I did. I stopped. I went home, did my best to recuperate,
2-hour drive,
sleep, and went back the next day for our first leg session. And again, is it a coincidence that he chose legs?
Yeah.
As the first session?
Drop you in at the deep end.
Yeah, of course. He wanted to see, was I able to put out and give everything that you had? And I guess I must have been able to do that. I did. I loved my training, but I had never gone to the point and to those places that I went to with Dorian in Temple Gym. The state, the place you go to in your head, in your heart, in your mind, like your brain and body doesn't go to that place ever unless you're in the ultimate fight or flight situation.
Yeah.
Like you literally think you've got nothing left. Nothing. Your whole body, every cell in your body is screaming, "Stop, stop, I'm going to die." And then you hear 3 more reps, lad.
3 more reps.
And you get them.
Yeah.
You get them. From where? I got no idea, but you get them. And at the end of it, you fall on your feet. You fall.
I think the thing with Dorian and Ronnie was the fact that, I think their injuries as well was testament to how the fact that their mind was stronger than their body.
Yeah.
Like Dorian always said, I've asked him myself, like, anything you wished if you could go back, you'd do different. And he said, yes. He said, I wished I'd backed off in the last few weeks. He says, because when the body fat's low and everything, he said, that's when you're going to get injured. He said, if I could go back, he said, I wished I could have just backed off a little bit, on the training and stuff like that. But it proves that, that the mind actually, if you harness it properly, it can be actually even stronger than your body. And I think Dorian was the first real bodybuilder to really kind of instill that, like when he dropped to the 1 set.
Yes.
That was completely, that was revolutionary. That was that took the bodybuilding world by storm. Like, how can you do 1 set?
And again, I remember like the first few times I was in Temple Gym, he wasn't doing 1 set.
Right.
He was doing 2 sets, 2 working sets.
Yeah.
And he was doing things like decline bench press. He would be doing dumbbell shoulder press.
Yeah.
Movements which he dropped. He dropped the dumbbell shoulder press simply because it was getting unsafe.
Right.
Handing those dumbbells up to him, and it was getting to the point where the risk to benefit ratio, the risk was outweighing the benefits. And so he switched to Smith machine military press.
Yeah.
A lot safer, but he could still move the huge amount of weight.
Like if you're getting those dumbbells in position, even for the person that's 2 people that handed them to you, if something goes and then it drops on the floor or, and like I found getting to the dumbbells in position is that's where I could where I can get twinges. Do you know what I mean? So I suppose Dorian was, and like you said, the kind of weights he was lifting, one slight, or slip, that's it. You've torn your rotator cuff, and and Dorian already had the hip injury. And did you ever get close to getting injured training that level all the time? And was it always 100% all the time? Right.
Yes. It was every session. You were nervous going in. You were apprehensive going in, even if it was shoulders, triceps, and abs, or if it was chest and biceps. You knew you were just going to be put to the ultimate test every single workout. I would say maybe once every 6 or 7 weeks. It wouldn't be said, like there were very few words spoken during a workout. It was literally how much weight's going on. There was no chit chat. Like when we saw each other in the morning, when myself and Kenny were waiting for Dorian to arrive at the front door, there was no hi guys, hi Paul, hi Kenny. It was just a nod of the head.
No small talk.
A nod of the head.
Yeah.
Opens the gate, down we go the stairs.
Wow.
And he would go around, get the music ready. If Debbie was there, she'd get stuff ready, and we'd just get all the machines ready for what we're going to do today. And the only words spoken were how much weight we were starting with, what weight we're going to use for the working set, and that was it.
Was it ever too much? Like, did you get days where you just thought, I just don't think I can do this?
No.
Never?
No, never.
Right.
Rest was critical. I mean, you got to remember, I'd just come from Johnny Fuller, the master of high volume training, of doing 20, 25 sets per exercise, of doing 30, 35 reps per set, of doing 3-hour workouts, to doing a 50-minute workout 4 times a week. And I couldn't have done a 5th workout if I'd wanted to.
Yeah.
My body was wrecked. I couldn't have done another set. I couldn't have done a second set. If I wanted to. I couldn't have done another day's training if I'd have wanted to. And sometimes I'd get a phone call. It would normally be like after a leg session.
Yeah.
After leg day, it was always a rest day. But sometimes on the day after, before we start the rotation again, I'd get a phone call. I'm not rested enough, Paul. Not ready to go yet. I'm going to take another day off. And we'd be glad. We'd be glad. It was like, we get another rest day. But then by the next day, you were chomping at the bit to get in there. Like you were really chomping at the bit. And like, if there would be one thing that I would say to people is, I don't see people training hard anymore. I mean hard anymore. I just do not see it.
You said that to me because you said I've been training because you still train hard. You still look great, And you said
I don't train hard anymore.
But you said you've been training a lot of different gyms. I mean, this is why you're down here now. You're going to the new Ultraflex gym opening and we'll talk about that at the end because obviously I want to talk about what you're going to be doing there for Charlie Marden, the owner. And you said you just never see it anymore. So what do you think? What did you learn from that? Those days that you think you'd like to convey to the people watching?
I think it's a simple, understand the process of how muscle grows. Understand the process. You have to stimulate the muscle. Then you have to leave it alone. Feed it, rest it, let it recover. Most people think they give it enough time recovery before they train it again. What they miss out is the period of growth.
Yeah.
So they're almost like sabotaging their own progress by training too frequently. If they gave themselves an extra day, that's a day of growth where the muscle tissue actually gets a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. And that was the beauty of, and is the beauty of heavy duty training. You do get that recovery period. And you've got to adjust it for your own individual body too. Like some people are freaks, like Ronnie Coleman is just an absolute freak. He could train each body part twice a week. But he wasn't training like Dorian.
Legs twice a week.
He wasn't training like Dorian either.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't going to to failure, and then using negatives, and then using rest pause, and then using force reps or whatever.
But the thing with Dorian, like you said at the start, he said, you know, he might have been very strong, and he's seen like the squatting here, and he's 6-7 plates, and you know, very, very heavy weights. But his form was really, really good. I remember he tried to, it was about 2011, I think, he tried to put Branch Warren through back. And he said Dorian was getting, like, people were watching it because the gym was packed. It was Body Power weekend when they were over for Body Power. And Dorian was getting frustrated because Branch just wasn't listening. He says, no, look, he says, you've got to be able to stop the movement. Like, I'll alternate my back workouts. I'll do it where every single rep of every exercise, I hold every rep at the contracted position. And other times I'll go a little bit heavier and I'll just keep the weight moving. And I kind of mix it up with exercises and days and stuff like that. But he said, like, if you can't hold it and contract it in the fully contracted position, he said, you're going too heavy. And you're not using a proper range of motion. Yeah. So Dorian always used really, really good technique. So, right, one thing I want to talk about, obviously, British bodybuilding, I mean, you were there, like I said. Sorry, go on.
Final example of that, because I think it's going to be really important that people hear this, especially with regards to their back training.
Yeah.
I see very few great backs anymore.
Right.
And when I say great, I mean wide, width, thickness, density, and detail.
Like this.
Okay.
94.
Now, why aren't we seeing backs like that anymore?
Yeah.
Partly genetics? Yeah, of course, partly genetics. But it was the way he was training. Now, he always said, you know, there's 3 types of strength. There's your positive strength, the static strength, and the negative strength.
Yeah.
Your weakest is your positive. That's the weakest.
Yeah.
But that's what most people are using, especially with back training. They're pulling the weights down without any regard to the static hold, contraction, and just letting the negative go without control. He was all about, his back training was all about the positive, explosive, into a static hold, peak contraction for a momentary pause. It was almost like you wouldn't almost see it. It was so quick, but it was there.
Yeah.
And then he would control the negative back again. Now, that's what he instilled into me. The very first time we trained back together without Kenny, we'd gone through Nautilus pullovers. We went over to the barbell rows, underhand. And, you know, my working weight at that time was probably like 3.5 plates or something like that. So, you know, I pick up like 2.5 plates for my warm-up, did 1 rep, put the weight down, lad, pull, drop the weight in half.
Wow.
Drop the weight in half. Okay. I just did exactly what I was told. Like, that's Mr. Olympia, man. This is the king of bodybuilding. It's like, you listen. You listen.
And no one had, apart from Lee Haney, no one had backs like that back then. No one. It was like, I think that was where the era of
Lee Haney.
But that was the era of, there were exceptions, but that was the era of shows of one from the back. And then Dorian, obviously, then everyone else was trying, like Kevin Navrone and Sean Ray were all bringing their backs up because, you know, basically they knew that Jay Cutler brought his back up to go up against Ronnie Coleman because he knew that those 2 poses, you know, you could be winning from the front and the side like Jay was at the 2001 Olympia. But when you turn to the back, that's where if you haven't got a back as good or better, you're not going to beat these guys.
It's almost like a lights out.
Yeah, lights
pose.
out, baby.
It almost is.
Lights
it
out.
almost is. When they turn around, it's almost like if you're not there.
Yeah. Well, I was at those Grand Prix you were at, 92, 94, 96, the ones that Dorian did and won. And I remember the one year when he supposedly messed up on diuretics and he crashed down and he was down to in the 240s and Nasser and Dillette were kind of looking huge and great. But then
Kevin was looking outrageous.
Kevin was looking good.
Nasser was looking good.
Nasser was, I wasn't a fan of Nasser, but for that.
He looked great.
He did. But when he turned to the back, Dorian was so crisp and so developed. You know, like Nasser had the lower lats were missing, the blurriness, and he was huge on the front and the side. But when they turned to the back, Dorian was so complete, you know, right down to his ankles. You know, it was just like, and he was so far ahead of them.
Yeah, so if there's one thing I would want to say to everybody out there is like, especially with your back training, if you're struggling to develop your back, drop your weight in half.
Yeah.
You know, throw your ego out the door, you know, leave it before you even enter the gym. Drop your weight in half. Make sure you get a momentary pause, peak contraction, control the negative. Yeah. Your weights will go back up, but it will go back in much better form, in the correct form, and you'll back will be growing alongside it too.
Yeah.
So, I would love to see that happen again, because I miss seeing backs of that standard, of that crispness too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of backs, there's no lower lats. Like, they'll have big upper backs. That's how I won my first show, because when I turned to the back, the guy was bigger in the chest and the shoulders from the front and the side. But when it turned to the back, because I'd actually trained my back properly, like, my back was very evenly developed. Like, he had nothing from the scapula down. And his glutes and his hamstrings, there was no tie-ins. And I was like, as soon as I turned to the back, I was like, yeah, I've got him. Do you know what I mean? So, one thing I want to talk about, because obviously, since 97, there was a bit of, apart from Flex Lewis, Nathan Diasho as exceptions in the UK, we have had a lot of good bodybuilders and a lot of good athletes in all the divisions. We've had some exceptional. Yep. But there was a little bit of a lull after Dorian. We had Ernie Taylor, JD Dewadu, Eddie Abu, guys like that. But then, obviously, a few weeks ago, we had Samson Dauda winning the Arnold Classic, the first ever Brit to win the Arnold Classic, the biggest win for British bodybuilding in 25 years. He won it with straight firsts. Yeah. So what's now we're
I had him straight first.
You did? Okay.
Right across the board.
Okay.
Right across the board. Yeah. He was the most complete. His conditioning.
Keep talking. I'm sorry. Keep talking, and I'm going to bring his Instagram up. His conditioning
was very, very, very good.
Okay.
Very, very good. I thought he became even crisper.
Then when?
Later on for the night show.
Yeah. He did.
He became even crisper. But I had him winning even before that.
Okay.
I just felt he had the most balanced physique. He had the most muscle. Yeah. The most proportionate muscle. And again, this is another area where I think people get confused when they're talking in terms of symmetry. What do you mean by symmetry? A lot of people, when they talk symmetry, what they mean is aesthetics. It looks flowing.
Yeah.
But that isn't symmetry. What symmetry is the left side of your body is directly the same as the right side of your body.
Yeah.
And your upper body is exactly the same development as your lower body. That's symmetry for you. Everything is symmetrical. And he has that. Samson has, for me, he's getting close to getting the complete package necessary to win the Mr. Olympia. Again, the one area I would love to see Samson improve on is his back.
Yeah. I feel like if you actually look at from when I saw some pictures in an article I wrote for him in last issue of MD, and his back has even come up since Olympia.
Oh, it has.
But yes. He's like last year it was his chest, and now I think he's probably got the best chest in the pros right now. And I think if I was to, because we're really getting to nitpicking now, because really he's just won the Arnold Classic straight first. But if we really, because obviously these fine details are the difference between first and fifth or sixth or 10th for the Olympias. Because now we're in a conversation for could Samson win the Olympia this year?
Yes.
You think he can?
If he carries on making the improvements that he's made since the Olympia, why not? Why not?
Not just the Olympia, but the last 2 years. I mean, the improvements he's made since Milos, since he won his first pro show in Prague, 2021, November. I mean, he was 270.
I know. It's almost...
270, a year and a half later, 297 in better condition.
Yeah,
27
it's nuts. It's nuts. I don't know how he trains. I don't know how he lives. Look, I follow his stuff on Instagram, and what impresses me most about Samson, let's move away from the physique at the moment. Yeah. I love the fact that he's got a really stable, solid family life.
Yeah.
And that is critical. Like, that's your anchor. To be a great bodybuilder, you have to have that behind you. And he's got that. Everything's in place for him to become a multi-winning Mr. Olympia.
I stayed with him last year, and it's like he's got a very normal life. It's him and his wife now, Marlena, and they got the dog. And he posted this morning about he was off in his beautiful part of Wales where he likes to take the dog, and he drives the car up there and parks the car, and then they go off for these long walks over these beautiful Welsh Hills. It's not him partying with his mates and hanging out and...
we used to say, the best bodybuilder was the most boring person.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah. You had a boring life. I mean, when I think back at the way Dorian lived those 17 years of his career, I mean, man, he lived like a monk.
He did.
For 17 years.
Is it true that like on New Year's Eve or Christmas he'd have like half a beer and then he'd be like... No.
Half a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
And that would be it, Normally he'd be training the next day, so,
Because, like say, even Ronnie, Ronnie the legend, I mean, he would, like, after the Olympia, he said he wouldn't start training till January. Kevin Navrone, Sean Ray, I remember seeing Sean Ray on tour, and he says, he said, I haven't trained since the Olympia, not once. He says, and I probably won't start training till February, And then you had Dorian that was like, day after the Olympia, like, okay, the prep for next year's Olympia starts literally as he walks off the stage with the Sandow.
Yeah.
So you had that mentality.
Yeah, he literally walked away from the Olympia the next day thinking, where do I need to improve?
Crazy.
And he was talking of, I'd like to add 1 pound here, a pound there. Like if he had a 4 or 5 pound increase in weight from one year to the next, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people understand, like, if you get like a 4-5 pounds bag of anything, how much that is. That's a lot of whatever it is.
Those steaks you cooked last night, how much was that? Was that 600 grams or 800 grams?
Yeah, they were like...
That's a lot of meat.
300 each, like 600 grams of meat.
Yeah.
So that's 600 grams,
But then you slap that onto your body and...
in the right areas.
Yeah.
Can make a massive difference.
So going back to Samson,
yes.
I mean, like I said, us British bodybuilding fans are pretty excited right now because, like, he's got enough and he's got a good amount of time, till October.
Yes.
And we've all seen how he can improve.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that his motivation levels are absolutely sky high. He's certainly got no fight.
If they're not, there's something wrong with him.
And he's certainly got. I mean, that's only his second pro win, and he won the Arnold Classic straight first, beating Ramy and all these other guys, Nick Walker. But the thing is, now he's got no financial pressures, which he had a couple of years ago. Yeah. He's got he's signed for 4 years with Hostile. He's the highest paid athlete. He's just won 300 grand. He's got kind of everything. He's got his new home. I stayed in last year, and he's kind of got his home life is all. He's married. He's kind of got everything now. So, if he doesn't show up improved, then something really has gone wrong.
Yes.
Why would it?
You also have to throw into the equation of competing twice a year, which isn't easy. Competing twice a year, it's not easy. When you think back to Dorian's career, once a year, once he had that whole year preparing for that one day.
Yeah.
Okay, like the European Grand Prix tour, but
same prep.
He was
same
there.
prep. It's just carrying on your diet for a few weeks.
It was maybe. What was it, 96? He knew he was depleted. He knew he was flat. And so he just threw in extra carbs, and then all of a sudden that 96 German Grand Prix video comes out and everyone's saying, oh, it's the greatest Dorian there's ever been.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was great lighting. The greatest Dorian there's ever been was probably 93 or 95.
Yeah. I like the 95 look. To be honest, that's one Olympia. Like if I could go back in time, I'd love to have gone to the 2003 when Ronnie came out looking like an alien, 40 pounds. I mean, that was the 1 year. That was because I went 2001, I went 2002, and then people started dropping out. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to skip it this year. Because Ronnie was downsized the year before. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he's starting to lose momentum. Then he lost to Gunter, and then he came back and went, right, I'm pissed off now. I'm gonna go crazy all year, which he did, and he prepped the whole year like Dorian did, and then came back looking, history is, go check it out. I mean, it looked incredible. Nothing will ever I don't think I'll even be matched, let alone surpassed. No. But the one other one I wished I'd seen was that 93 Olympia when Dorian walked out. I wished that was bodybuilding. Like I've heard, was it Milos? I don't want to. Someone said, he said that was when bodybuilding was almost like destroyed because Dorian made it so, like he made it so much about. He took it to such a level that, like, it changed things. And for some guys, it wasn't good because they had to then chase that.
The problem that other people see is they always refer to Dorian as like the first mass monster.
Yeah.
Dorian was all about conditioning.
Yeah.
He was all about conditioning. He was prepared to sacrifice 5 or 6 pounds of muscle tissue to get that crazy conditioning of a lightweight.
Yeah.
You know, he was a super heavyweight with the conditioning of a lightweight.
Well, look at the black and white sock pictures. I mean, he wouldn't have disgraced himself if he'd have walked on stage looking like that. And he was, what, 270 there?
He'd win every pro show today,
exactly.
Apart from the Olympia with that.
So, with what you know, and just say Samson came to you, what would you suggest that he do now? Because thing is, you say about competing once a year. Here's a guy that is actually successfully been competing more than once a year and improving. So fingers crossed he can keep that going. So what would you suggest? What would you suggest for him to literally do what he needs to do from now till October and win the Olympia?
I would say to him, I'm not the person you should be speaking to.
Right.
You've got a coach. Only listen to your coach.
There you go. There you go.
Know,
good answer.
More than one voice coming in your ear when you're prepping for a show is a nightmare, and it's destructive. Listen to one voice. It's either your own voice or the one person that you trust more than anything, but don't go around looking for voices.
That was the problem with Ramy, wasn't it? I think he was listening to for those years where he wasn't getting it right. The general feeling was that he's listening to too many people in his ear. Do this, do that, and also people looking to make a name for themselves by different coaches or different people in his camp saying, "Well, if it works, they take the credit for it." Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of Ramy's a huge name, so. Too many cooks.
A lot of the people competing these days need to have more confidence in themselves and what they've learned through the process so far.
Yeah.
And it may be that you do need a coach, maybe for the last 6 weeks, when your mind, everyone's head goes the last 6 weeks.
Prep goggles.
Yeah, prep goggles. You don't see reality in the mirror.
Yeah.
And you do need that third eye from a Kerry Kays or Kerry was always brutal, honest, with his feedback. I went to Kerry. I went to Dorian, I went to Kerry, and I went to Graham Black.
Okay.
They were the 3 people I went to. Nobody else.
I've seen a lot of people in better bodies walk out with their head down go in feeling pretty good about themselves, and they go out and they're almost in tears. Big 300-pound guys, look almost crying like babies. Because they've gone and they're going, I'm going to show off to Kerry. And Kerry's gone, no, you got 10 pounds to lose, mate. Yeah. And they did. Because all their training partners and their mates have said, you're looking great. And then Kerry's gone, no, you've got a few weeks to go, mate.
I always stayed completely covered up in my gym because I knew the members of my gym, they're all going to say, oh, you look great.
You're ready.
Paul. Oh, you're freaking.
You're ready.
Man,
Yeah. That happened to me.
No. I would go to Kerry. I would go to Dorian. And the interesting thing was, I can't remember which year it was. It might be 93 or 1994 when I was competing. And I thought I was ready. I was hurting so bad. And I went to see Kerry first because it was further away, up in Denton.
The pilgrimage up to Denton.
The Denton Better Bodies. And
the
Kerry
ghetto.
Looked me up and down and my back, which obviously I can't see, 6 pounds, Paul.
I'm 6 pounds.
Where from?
Yeah.
I said, you can't see your back, can you? I said, I went to Dorian. Good condition, lad. 6 pounds.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Wow.
6 pounds, and it was all in my back, and so I just had to take it off.
Yeah.
I had to hurt more, and that's the other thing. It's like when I see the faces of competitors today going into shows, I don't see that level of hurt, and I want to see that hurt because then I know you're ready. Yeah. You're really ready because to be that ready, you've got to hurt.
I had a conversation with Milos in last episode of Global, and he's almost concerned that conditioning is too much of the part of the judging criteria now, saying that there's been too many near misses with diuretics. We've had deaths, Momo Benaziza and Andres Munzer, and he was trying to almost say, look, maybe, because obviously there were some people that disagreed that Samson should have won because he wasn't the hardest. Now, I'm a conditioning snob. I'm like you. I like conditioning. I like to see the death face. You know, I don't think there's any excuse for not bringing good conditioning, because that's something you have control over. You know, your genetics, whatever, my genetics, we can't control that. We've got what we've got. We can do the best with what we've got. But conditioning, that's something you can do something about. And that comes down to hard graft.
There's a simple solution.
What?
To conditioning. Get ready 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
Don't get ready for the show. Get ready 2 weeks early.
2 weeks.
You will not need diuretics.
There you go.
You know, all diuretics do is flatten your muscles out, and you'll look worse for them. You know?
Did you ever use them?
I did.
What, every time, or?
No, at the start of my career.
Okay.
When I thought I needed them.
Yeah.
And other people suggested that I use them, and I thought I looked worse. I
Strong ones, or they aldactone or something mild, or?
Yeah. I mean, I have used Lasix.
Yeah.
Before, and I didn't have a bad experience during the show, but I had a terrible experience the night after the show.
Oh, really? What happened?
I just slept. I just slept for literally 24 hours solid, and it did nothing for my physique.
Okay.
And so, obviously, Dorian and I would talk about anabolics and, you know, off season and pre-contest, and I know a lot of people don't believe the article that Dorian wrote about his use.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, because Dorian always said, like, well, why should I tell people? Because they'll just call me a liar, because, you know, I did only use 2 shots of parabolon, but it was good French parabolon. Yeah. You know, it's I
know exactly where it came from. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like
real.
Yeah, it's like from a French pharmacy. It's like people don't realize that parabolon was 76.5 milligram per ampule.
Long thin amp. The thin end.
Yeah.
And
2 shots a week. So what's that? About 150 milligrams of parabolon, of Tren Hex, something or other.
Yep.
It was like rocket fuel. 150 milligram. You couldn't have you wouldn't have wanted to take any more. What more could you have got out of it?
Jay Cutler said the same. He says, well, that's all I used, 2 shots. He said, but I made sure what I got was real.
Yes.
But so what was your general philosophy on the whole gear thing then? Because Dorian was, I remember hearing examples of what Dorian would tell people. And to me, it was pretty modest, I'll say. What was your feelings?
Again, he experimented.
Okay.
He experimented. And I'm not going to speak for Dorian.
Of course.
Dorian's his own man, and he's fully capable of and he has done, you know, and he's made it, you know, very clear what he took. But what he took, you know, it did vary over the years, and he experimented.
Yeah.
He tried taking his weekly test levels up over 1,000 milligram.
Okay.
Found no benefit from that at all, and so just brought them back down. It was like everything. We experimented with our protein intake.
Okay.
And we pushed that over 1.5 gram per pound body weight, and we found that didn't have any benefits in terms of extra muscular growth.
Did Dorian, because he said he used insulin in the last, I mean, he's gone on record to say this. So
only 97.
Yeah, only 97,
only
but that
97.
was the year for me. I find when guys use insulin, their waist goes wider.
Yeah,
I just noticed that that's the first thing that I can expect to see when someone says, I started using insulin. I'm expecting their waist to be not just like that, but wider. You know, sometimes guys get it when they get older, but Dorian certainly, that last year, for me, the way it spoiled his physique a little bit.
Yeah, look, I mean, all I know is what he said to me.
Yeah, he's gone on record and said it as well.
And he said to me, look, I used insulin in 97 in the off season, and he said I noticed within 8 weeks that my waist had expanded, and he stopped taking it.
Right. Okay.
He stopped taking it, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
So, like. Yeah, insulin is one of those things which, personally, I'm completely against.
I am.
In terms of use for bodybuilding. If you're a type 1 diabetic, hey, you know, you got no choice. But for bodybuilders, I see too many negatives than positives with it, and I think if you find that you're needing to use insulin that you're needing to use more than, let's say, 6 IUs of growth hormone a day.
Yeah.
At pro level, I know there's amateurs doing this stuff, but if you're an amateur and you're doing this stuff, you're not good enough.
And it's expensive.
You're not good enough.
And it's expensive.
Stop. Take up tennis. Take up badminton.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a top pro bodybuilder. Yeah. Forget it.
I mean, I know a very large British pro, and he said even when I'm competing, he said, like, I get the really good pens, the 36 IU, the genotropin pens. I'll spend the money, and he said the maximum I would ever go is 3 IU. He says, if you've got real GH, you don't need to go heavier than that. He says, otherwise, what another pro told me, another British pro, he says, if I go over 4 IU, he said, my stomach starts to distend. I end up getting it's not like with Dorian taking insulin, he gets the wider waist. But when this particular pro said, if I go over 4 IU, he says, my stomach starts to stick out. He says, and I don't want that. I certainly don't want to be taking that on stage. That's not a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have spoken about, the growth, the GH gut and stuff like that. I'm not personally convinced about that as being the sole cause of it. I think a lot of it is to do with the amount of calories, especially carbohydrates that people are intaking, and the inflammation of the stomach and the gut has got a major role to play with it.
But with the insulin, you have to take in the extra calories, so it's cause and effect, isn't it? Effectively,
exactly.
So, so it is responsible in a way.
We're talking elite, top pro, Olympia level physiques here.
Yeah.
For everybody out there who is chasing a pro card or is just got their pro card, if you're finding you're needing to do insulin and those levels of growth hormone and anabolic intake of more than, let's say, 1,500 milligrams a week in total, you're not good enough.
Right.
You're not good enough. Stop chasing the dream. Carry on training. Carry on competing. Love it. But don't expect you're going to make your living from the sport, because you're not going to do it. It's a hard lesson to learn. Dorian sat me down one day after training, and he said to me, Paul, he said, do you think you can get your pro card? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said to me, yeah, I think so too. I thought, wow, Dorian thinks I can get a pro card.
Yeah.
But then he said to me, do you think you can get top 3 in your first pro show? And I hadn't even thought about that question before. And I had to think about it. But the answer was so obvious to me, because I'd seen so many pros come through Temple.
Yeah.
No. I didn't have whatever it was, that genetic X factor that these guys and women have.
And you were training as hard as Dorian because you were training with him.
Yeah.
So you were training to a Mr.
My diet
Olympia.
was just as meticulous.
There you go. And your diets, your training.
My recovery, just as meticulous.
You were all talking about you're doing the same supplements and gear and everything. So really, pretty much you were following his plan, his training split. You were doing everything that he was doing. And you were at like a
and
top.
We were roughly the same body weight even.
Same body.
Look, I'm just over 6 foot. He's what, 5'10", 5'11".
So similar kind of, there's a lot of similarities.
Our body structure's very similar.
But, competing at a high level at the British finals, on an amateur level, internationally, competing at Europeans and worlds and stuff. But,
he made me look like a stick.
There you go.
There was a world of difference. And you got to wake up to that.
Yeah.
I had to wake up to that. And that was him. And he then said to me, look, Paul, I'll never tell you how to live your life. But he said, Paul, you're a smart guy. You can do whatever you want in whatever kind of endeavor you want to do. Don't put all your eggs in this one bodybuilding basket.
Yeah.
And that was the best advice anyone had ever given me up to that point in time. The best advice. And, he was a massive mentor to me back then. Our relationship has obviously changed over the years. We lost touch for a lot of years. We're now back in communication with each other, which is great. It's just wonderful.
That's
good.
That's good.
I love the guy. I really do love him. And I just see so many great things in who he is, and still who he can be and what he can become and what he's got to do yet. He's still got a lot. He's got a mission still to achieve, and he knows that.
And he gave so much. Because like I said, I started following. The first magazine I ever bought was April 1990. I remember getting the pumping press, the picture of Benjamin, the Night of Champions, frontable bicep. And I was like, who's this guy? Second to Momo Benazir. And I followed his career from start to finish, from pro to, till 97. And, and then I remember hearing that he was rumoured that he was... The rumour was, because in Hereford, there was a lad in the gym and he said... Giles, this was end of 97. He said, Giles.
There was so many rumours.
I know. He said, Giles, I'll tell you now. He says, I know for a fact, there's a lad I know that trains at Temple. He says, Dorian's not retiring. I went, no, he's not going to retire. No, he's torn the tricep. And he says, do you know why? He says, because he's trying to sell all his IGF for 40 grand. And I went, 40 grand? He said, yeah, that's a year's worth. I was like, wow, he spends that much a year on his IGF. And it was all bullshit, It was like the blood doping thing. When he puts the blood in the night, it takes his blood out, injects it with growth hormone, puts it in the fridge and takes it the next day. And
because every day...
It was all these crazy rumours.
Routine. Like, every day, Kenny and I would say, come on, Dorian, come to lunch with us. We used to have lunch at this big shopping centre, the Pavilions. They had a food court in there. Okay. Every day me and Kenny went for lunch. Yeah. And we'd try and get Dorian to come with us every time. He'd never come. And one day I thought he was going to come with us. Yeah. He said, maybe I'll come today. And then we're kind of, we finished chatting. We're just about getting our bags together, and the phone rings, and it's Debbie. Right. Tell Dorian his dinner's ready. It's going to be on the table. He'll be cold if he's not home in like 15 minutes. Steak and potato, probably. So that was it. He had to be back home. Yeah. But after his post-workout meal, food meal, he went to bed for a sleep. That's what he did. But the rumours that were going around was he's blood doping, he's getting IGF, IV, whatever. There was some nuts rumours. I remember Kevin Horton telling me, because obviously Kevin was his photographer, really. That was his, that's the person you associate. Pete McGough and Kevin Horton, you all associate with Dorian. Stuart. Stuart Cosgrove, very close his physio, Kerry Case. Yeah. And I remember Kevin saying, he said, Giles, if you ever drive up to London, if I drive up from London to Dorian's, pulled up to his house, he said if the bedroom curtains upstairs were shut, he says, I knew not to knock on the door because Dorian was napping and he didn't like to be woken up. So, and he said he napped for 45 minutes every single day. So he knew that if the curtains were shut or you got there too late, and you'd have to sit in the car, play some music and wait until. So. Paul, I know you've got to be somewhere very, very soon, so I'm going to wrap up quickly. Do you want to tell us why you're here and what you're doing today? I do. Well, I've travelled down from Scotland. That's where I live and have done for the last 10 years. I'm down in Leeds North for the opening of the Ultraflex. The brand new Ultraflex Leeds North. Nice. And I was there yesterday for the pre-launch meeting, and it is an amazing gym. I think it's the best gym I've ever seen. Wow. Ever. Anywhere. Wow. Anywhere.
Oh my God, you're really...
It is just... sensational.
Sorry to interrupt, because later on we're going to film Hot News, because I'm going to go to the gym and do some film with Lauren. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get some footage that Charlie's going to send me, and then we're going to put it into Hot News. So I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'm going over there 1 o'clock to kind of open the temple formally. That's amazing. There's a little hardcore area called the temple, or fenced off. And it's all full of equipment from Temple Gym.
The original.
So I'm having a back workout on that original Temple Gym equipment. So Charlie is basically, what he's done, because obviously the old temple is gone, all the stuff was put into storage. He's bought all the equipment, the original gym, those dumbbells, everything. And he's distributed it through all the different Ultraflexes. Anth Bales has got some. He's got the pullover. The dumbbells, the Nautilus pullover.
Oh, the famous pullover.
Anth's gym is amazing too. That's in Durham. Yeah. Now that's my favourite. That's my home. Okay. Second home gym, like home from home. My home gym is up in Perth, but my home from home gym is Anth's Ultraflex down in Durham.
Because you've been meeting up with James Hollinshead and
kind of every quarter.
Okay.
Mr. Nasty, Leroy Davis, the man himself. What a gentleman that man is. Awesome. What a gentleman. So that's where I'm heading now.
All right then, mate. Well, because I'm conscious of your time, Paul. But we're gonna have to do this again next time you come down. Like I said, we've got the studio here. We'll have to do a part 2, part 3, part 4, and I want to get Biz in one day. Yes. You, me, and Biz, I'll produce, because I think that even if we never put it out, I just think it'd be a fun experience just to have the three of us in this studio. That's on my bucket list.
There'll be heavy editing. I'll say that.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to That's It End. Yeah. So,
Right. Thank you.
Paul Baxendale, thank
Pleasure.
you so much for coming, MD Globe Muscle.
Thank you, sir.
And have a great time today.
Thank you very much.
And we're joined by that, oh my God, he's only 23, but he's bloody incredible, Emir Omeragic.
Thank you, guys. Nice to be here again. I think the last time was 2 years ago.
Yes, 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago.
Wow.
A lot of things has changed. I gained good quality muscles in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you want to start. You want to ask me the questions or how you?
Yeah, that's
how are we doing?
I'm doing really well, mate. That's normally how we do things.
Because when I start talking, I can't stop.
Hey, that's the kind of guest we want, mate. That's the kind of guest we want. Right now, we just literally been going through your Instagram account in Hot News, trying to get a bit of a glimmer because obviously, you took 6th place at the New York Pro last year. Absolutely incredible. Where did you place? Were you 5th at the Arnold Brazil?
Yes, I placed 5th at Arnold Brazil, but I think I should play higher.
Okay.
Maybe 3rd place will be perfect.
Good lineup, though. Good lineup, mate.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. A lot of Brazilians, the best Brazilians like Rafael, William, Vitor, and Thiago Lins. So the best of the best in Brazil.
Yeah. So, what are you doing in Brazil? Because, like I said, I was expecting you to be in Germany, but tell us why you're there. Is it purely to compete?
Yes, it's it's just for the competition. I did my whole prep here. I'm 3 months now here in Brazil.
Okay.
So the reason why I come to Brazil is because of I don't know if you see it on Instagram. The trainer Johann Schatz from Austria.
Was that the bodybuilder from the 90s?
Yes.
Did he do the 93 Olympia?
Yes.
Do you know? Because we literally just looked at it, and I was like, that can't be Johann Schatz. I mean, thing is, that's 30 years ago now.
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
He's amazing, and I meet him last year at the Arnold's here. He talked to me. He tell me Emir, if you want to come to Brazil, you have everything here. You have everything what you need. So I decided to do this year because my training was good, but I think I can learn a lot more.
Okay.
Because Johann is training for 40 years, 40, 50. I think he's 65. He started training when he was 16, 17. So he have a lot of experience,
Yeah.
And I say to myself, why not? Why not to try something different, to try something different training style, to do, sometimes, I don't know if you watch sometimes my stories, but I don't train 100% properly, right? I mean, the movements.
In what way?
What?
In what way?
Like the full range of motion. I did when I did chest, I did the half reps,
Okay.
Heavy weights and just bam, bam, bam. And Johann, it's with him, I just do clean reps. Everything is clean. He's every set, every rep, he's with me. So it's easy for my mind. It's easier for me to go to the gym, to don't think about it. Okay, what I have to do now? What do I need to push a lot of weight today? Do I need to do higher reps, do lower reps? So he decides everything for me. So it's easier for me. So I can go to the gym with a free mind and don't think about it, how the training will be. So I just have to follow him. And he's amazing, his experience, and he showed me a lot of stuff in the training what I never did before, a lot of good movements. And I think we improved really, really good this prep. And the quads, I improved the quads really well.
Wow.
The shoulders, the chest, the back thickness is a little bit better. The hamstrings, you can see it's more, the muscles are, it's like they're popping out really, really good. So for me, I think it was the best decision that I can do, to leave the home, to be free from everything, from the stress, from the friends. You know, sometimes people call you and say, I need your help, I need your this, I need this, I need this. So I just moved. I just want to focus 100% on the prep. And the plan normally was to compete at the New York Pro.
Okay.
That was the plan for this season.
Yeah.
But I talked to Chris Aceto, and Chris tell me, why not to do Brazil, the Arnolds? It's like, he said, you are there. You are 10 minutes away from the competition.
Yeah.
So why not to stay there and prep there for the Arnolds? So I say to myself, okay, let's do it. Let's prep. We start the prep really starts 8 or 9 weeks ago.
Okay. Wow. So short prep.
Yeah, really short prep. And to be honest, I don't feel like I'm in prep. I have still a lot of food. The condition is coming, and I feel so good. I feel so healthy. I feel so motivated. I feel strong. I have energy. I really want this time. You know,
Yeah.
I really want to do it everything on 100%. You know, so that's why I moved here. And yeah, let's see how the competition is going.
So, I mean, you never struggle with condition, right? And so why are you feeling so good on this prep as opposed to other preps? Because it's the same coach. It's not like you got a different coach. Do you think it's the environment or the Johan maybe, or what is it?
I think it's the short prep.
Okay.
Normally I have 18 weeks of prep.
Yeah.
And this time it's so short that I don't feel hungry. You know when you feel hungry in a prep, you want to kill everybody.
Yeah.
And that feel is not there. I have a lot. I have 3-4 days low days, and when the weight really down, high day again. And now it's 1 day low, 1 day high, 1 day low, 1 day high.
Good.
So my body is really eating the food is everything's on point. And of course, also of Johan,
Yep.
the trainers. So, like I said before, he make it easy for me. I just go in the gym and relax. I don't think much about what I'm gonna do because he's telling me everything, what to do, what I need to do. So, for me, it's mentally easy this time. You know, sometimes you are struggling. This, you are tired. You this. But this time, it's really everything is on point. I am zero stressed. I am 100% focused, and last year I was really tired.
Why?
The prep was because of the prep. It was a very long prep, and then I placed 5th at Arnold. I was really disappointed because I say to myself, I'm better. I know that I'm better, and I know that I can beat a lot of these guys. You know, maybe not Rafael. Rafael was the only one who I say, okay, Rafael is better than me at now. But the rest I say to myself, I'm better. And then I go to New York, and then I place 5th. I place 6th.
Yeah.
So it was good, of course. New York and Arnold is one of the biggest shows on the planet, but you know, when you place in Spain 2nd, Romania 4th,
yeah,
you want to continue, you want to get better, you know, and yeah, but not everything in life is going easy. Not everything. Sometimes you have to fall down and get up and get better and come stronger and better, you know.
How's it going with Chris Aceto then, mate? Because you two have obviously had a very, very successful run. You had 2nd at the Big Man Weekend, like you said, 4th in Romania, 6th at the New York Pro. You know, you've had some really, really good results. How's it going?
Everything is going well with Chris. We talk every day a lot. I send him pictures in the morning, after training, at night, so 3 times a day. Always the weight, how much I weigh in the morning, post-workout, pre-workout, and at night. So everything is going well with Chris. We talk a lot. He's helping me a lot. He's he's the number one for me. Like 2 years ago I said it, and I say it again. For me, he's the number one. It's like Johan, you know. Johan have the training experience of like 30, 40 years, and Chris have like 30, 40 years like of prepping people, you know.
Yep.
So he just look at you, and he know, okay, do this, eat this, take this, you know. So with Chris is everything good. I love this man, and I'm thankful that I have such a great and experienced man on my side who's helping me to achieve my goals, you know.
So how did you two connect?
How do you mean connect?
Well, how did you get to know about Johan? How did you come to talk about this happening?
Look, 5 months ago,
Yeah.
Johan texted me and he said, "Hey, Emir, how you doing? Did you think about to come here over to Brazil?" I tell him, "Yeah, of course, I think, and I want to do it, but of course I need to talk to Chris. What Chris thinks, if it's good or if it's not good, because it's of course a lot of money what you pay. You know, another country, everything is different.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody speaks English, and Chris say, try it. Everything new what you can get, take it. So you just can learn and get better. If it's not going well, then you know it for the future, right?"
Yeah.
So Chris say, if everything is not going well, you will know it, try it, and then you will know it for the future, if it's good for you or if it's not good. But of course, Johan and Chris, Johan texts him always, right? So you tell him the training, Emir is today is flat or he's watery, or so we three are connected, you know. So
Yeah.
we try to figure out what's the best. So Chris thinks it's a very, very good idea that I'm in Brazil, because he say also you are away from everything, you don't have stress, you can focus on the prep, training, eating, sleeping. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying it, of course, also.
Good. So, I mean, obviously you're in Brazil are you by yourself, completely by yourself?
Yes, completely by myself.
Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that?
I'm completely okay.
Really?
I'm completely okay. And sometimes, of course, it will be great at night when you come home from the training to talk with somebody. But if I had like a girlfriend,
Yeah.
of course she will come with me. But it's like 3 months, you know.
Yeah.
Like she's working and and all that stuff. So I'm alone. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm enjoying the process. I know why I'm here. I'm here just to be focused to training, eating, sleeping, and nothing else. Nothing else.
So where are you training then?
What?
Where are you training?
At Ironberg.
Okay, I've heard of that
I don't
place.
know.
Is there any other bodybuilders training there?
Yes. There's Ramon is there. Rafael is training there.
Wow.
So really, a lot of good big guys. So when you come in the gym, the energy and the feeling
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah,
It's completely different when you see like Rafael top 10 on Olympia, and Ramon. So it's motivated, You come in, you have the energy, you have the positive energy, you have the positive vibe. So you just can't get better.
Yeah.
You just can't get better. So for me, it's good to be around these people because I see how they train, how they focus are, So I'm just learning. Sometimes I come in the gym when I have a rest day. I have nothing to do,
Yeah, just chill.
I'm stretching, doing abs, and sometimes I'm eating my meals and I'm just watching how they train, what they're doing, Just maybe if it's just one exercise where I can learn something, I will take it with me because for the future, everything what you learn now is great for the future.
Do you get on well with the guys? Are they welcome to you?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Good. Good to hear.
every time when they see me, they come, hug me, and say what's up. But nobody speaks English of these guys, you know. It's hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ramon and bloody Ramondino, and oh my god.
It's hard to talk to them. I mean, my English is also not the best, you know. But sometimes it will be great if you can talk a little bit from athlete to athlete, you know, to learn something. But it's okay. I have Johan with me when I need something to know. I just ask Johan, "Can you translate me, please?" And it's good. It's very, very good for me. I feel so good. I never felt so good in a prep.
Good.
Because you know I'm really focused this time. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when I'm in Germany, when I do my prep in Germany, it's like you are home, and you know someone will text you, someone will need something, or you have to finish something, you know.
Yeah.
So here I'm completely on myself. I just need to buy my food once a week. That's it. Just cooking the meals, eating, sleeping, training, repeat. So I love it. You know, when you love bodybuilding, you love this lifestyle. Of course, like you say, alone, it's a little bit lonely, but it's okay.
It's not forever. It's not forever. It's like
it's not forever. Yes.
So so you're there in Brazil now until the Brazilian show. What about, are you going to stay there until the New York Pro?
I don't know now, to be honest. I wanna see how the Arnold is going.
Yeah.
And after that, I decide if I stay longer or getting back to Germany. And that's first the competition, the Arnold's.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, and after that, let's see. But normally, I would stay here. I think I would stay here because I have everything here. I'm really relaxed. Of course, when you go shopping like yesterday, normally like yesterday I was in the city, I was buying some food, and the Uber is sometimes not working, or a taxi driver, you tell him the address, he's asking you something, then you need to use Google Translate. And really, nobody speaks English in Brazil. Nobody. I talked to a lot of. I tried to talk to a lot of people. Nobody. Like it's like Chinese, and I understand nothing. Nothing. Portuguese is a really hard language for me.
Have you learned any?
Huh?
Have you learned any Portuguese?
Yes, like good morning, good night, see you, bye, thank you.
Yeah.
Just the small basic stuff, you know. But if you want to explain something or go home, you need to show the address. Then the thing is also in Brazil, you have a lot of places, and some places have the same address.
Okay. Oh God! How? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how. So when I came to Brazil, the first 2 weeks, it was a disaster. I was in the gym like 11 p.m. and I was home like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
So it's hard when you can't talk, when you can't speak the language. It's really hard. But now I figured out a little bit how to talk, and I show pictures and
I remember being in
crazy.
I remember, it's so weird when you go to a country where no one speaks English. Like, they don't even speak a word. I remember I was in Madrid once, and I went into the center of Madrid, and I showed this place, and it was called the Hotel Rafael Lorenz. And I said to him, Hotel Rafael Lorenz. He went, taxi driver just went, eh?
Yeah.
And then I said, and I thought, I know, I'll say it in a Spanish accent. I said, Hotel Rafael Lorenz. And I said it in like a foreign accent, and he went, no. I showed him on my phone, and he went, Hotel Rafael Lorenz. I was like, freaking said that. Said that. He's like, he didn't. And I said hi. I said hi, and he went, I was like, he didn't understand a word of it.
I
frustrating.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I do.
So,
but you learn. You know, it's a good life experience. You learn a lot. You see a lot of people.
Big time.
The culture. So, of course, it's hard, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Good.
it. It's new for me, you know. I never was so long away from Germany and do just a preparation, and I'm excited. I'm positive. I'm happy, and I enjoy it really.
I think anytime, you know, I see Brandon Curry going to, you know, Dubai or Kuwait, and you see all these athletes, and you're going there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? You're going there with a purpose, so you're not there to piss about or chill with a, you know, group of guys or party or be distracted. You're literally going somewhere where there is no distraction. No one speaks English. You're literally there to eat, sleep, train, prep. That's it. So you've got a mission. You get on that plane, you land there. That is what you are there to do. You know, like you said, there's no one texting you or, hey, Emir, let's go for some food. Oh, it's a cheat day. Let's go for the burgers. It's like you're there. You're a man on a mission.
You explained it perfect. That's it. You understand me 100%.
Good.
That's it.
So you're not 100% decided about the New York Pro then?
No, I'm not 100% decided because, like I said before, I want to see how. To be honest, I think I go always with the mind on the show I can win.
Right.
And I don't know if you see the competition list, who's competing. I saw Sergio Oliveira is coming, and I talk about the dangerous guys. Sergio Oliveira.
Yeah.
This guy who placed last year second.
Who?
Vitor Boff.
Oh, Vitor Boff. Yeah, of course, he's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good. Really good.
Yes. And Bahrous, the guy from Iran.
Hang on a minute.
He's the only guy.
Hang on.
Who's really dangerous.
Hang on. Are you talking about the Arnold Brazil or the New York Pro?
Arnold Brazil.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because I was saying no. I think Sergio is out.
Sergio is out.
I know. I've heard from someone that spoke to him. I don't know. I don't have 100% confirmation, so you might want to check up on that. But I heard that I imagine he's doing the New York Pro, but I think he might not be doing the Arnold Brazil. You might want to go check that. But I know. But we said that Vitor. I'm sorry, Bahrous. Bahrous, I think, is your main competition.
And to be honest, I would love to compete with Sergio because he's a top bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And,
test yourself.
I meet him last year, and normally everybody thinks it's better when not good guys in the shows are.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking different. I'm thinking every time the better the people, and if I beat them,
yeah,
you know, it's automatically it means more to me than I win like an easy show, you know, like
yeah. That's the right. That's the champion's attitude.
You know, no show is easy, you know. But sometimes, you know, like Spain.
Yeah.
Just this guy from this small guy, this 212 Angel Caledron.
Yeah.
He was the only guy who was really, really dangerous, you know. So for me, means more like to beat really good people and to show that I'm better than these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
And you know what? I was saying on Hot News right before we filmed this, I said the whole argument, you and Urs Kalasinski in the Classic, you squash the argument that you have to have muscle maturity to do well. Because you and Urs both have dense, mature, it's dense, it's thick, it's separated, it looks like, do you know what I mean? Like you sometimes see these younger athletes and you say, oh, he just needs a few more years.
Yeah.
You and Urs have that density, you have that quality, that separation, that detail, the condition, you know. So you and Urs completely throw that argument out of the window.
Thank you. But I think it's because we work harder than a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
I don't say like
yeah.
better than everybody, but we started like I know Urs like when I meet him the first time I was 16, like he was 17.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was at the Natural show in Germany, the first show ever we did, and
okay.
We meet together, and after that we heard nothing like for 3-4 years.
Boom.
And then boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, fantastic. Yeah.
So it's also it's great like to see how far you can go, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like when a guy like Urs in so young age can get, he's 24, 25.
Yep.
Can I get top place at Olympia? Why should I can get? Of course, it's harder because the open class, you need more muscles, it takes more time. But I think, in my opinion, in 2 years, when I'm 25, 26, 25.
Oh, I'm still crazy. It's like in 2 or 3 years, you're still only going to be 25, 26. It's insane. It blows my mind, mate. It really does.
Thank you.
6 years, you still won't even be 30. Freaking hell. It's insane. It's insane.
And I think if I keep going,
Yeah.
and if I stay on track, I can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very, very dangerous.
You already are, mate.
I just need time. Need time. Of course, I'm also dangerous now, but I think you know what I mean. I will.
Yeah.
2-3 years, when you gain more, when you get better, harder, the muscle maturity is better. Everything gets better. The posing, the experience on stage, and everything. I think I can be very, very dangerous and very good.
I believe that. And the thing is, a lot of the young guys that are good, most of them, I'll be honest, most of them are coasting by on good genetics. But you're someone like us, you know, you've got the mindset of a 35-year-old. You've got that maturity that most guys under 30 or even certainly under 25 do not have. Like the ability to take yourself here, take yourself to Brazil, you know, be completely fine by yourself, doing what you're doing, and be completely laser-like focused. I mean, that's a huge achievement in itself to be that mature, that young, and to have your head screwed on.
Yeah, like I said before, you're just learning, you know? You're just learning. Chris tells me also, like, Emir, go to Brazil. You will just get better. You will have more life experience. You learn how to be alone and when it's hard. And so I'm really thankful also for this opportunity that I can be here with Johan training, and that I'm so welcome in the gym. Mm-hmm. The people are amazing. The energy in the gym when you go in, everybody's screaming weights, and it's like a real bodybuilding, you know. Yeah. In Germany, when I go to my gym, it's a regular gym, you know. It's not the same feeling. Also, the equipment that I have here, you know, it's amazing. Just I enjoy it really.
Plus, you're kind of the odd man out as well. Do you know what I mean? You're there. You're not part of the group. But even though although I'm really happy to hear that they've been very friendly towards you. And I'm glad that they're very welcoming, even though there's a language barrier. I'm really happy to hear that they've been like, you know, let's make this guy feel welcome. Do you know what I mean? Because they probably admire the balls that it took to do what you've done. Do you know what I mean? You're 23, mate. You could have just stayed in Europe doing European shows, just playing it safe, you know, just doing shows that are either, you know, a 1 hour plane ride. But instead, you took yourself over to another country by yourself. That takes balls, mate. And they will respect that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just try to learn to get better, and I just want to win.
Yeah, I can feel it. So
don't want anything else. I just want to win.
And the thing is, mate, you're right there. And the thing is, when it's this age, because at the end of the day, you're this good, this young. That means you've been making big improvements every single year. So they know that Vitor and those guys, they all know that you're going to be better than you were last year. They know that for a fact.
I saw him in the gym the last few days. I think 3 days ago. And I look at him. I watch him like 10, 15 minutes how he train and how he's looking. And I don't know. I don't like to talk too much, but I think I can beat him this year, 100%. If he don't come better, you also have a new coach. He's also coached by Milos.
Oh, Milos, yes, of course, because I spoke to Milos last week, and he mentioned Vitor. Yeah, he's going to be improving, mate. He's going to be improving too.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Good.
We will see. But he's also an amazing guy. I tried to talk to him a little bit. Very humble, very, very positive also. But when I see him, I tell him, like I say to Johan, tell him I beat him.
No, it's good. Gets him fired up.
Bit, to make the fire, So we will have more fun on stage.
And I tell you what, with the whole thing with Brazilian bodybuilding, I mean, we have Brazilian Beat run by Miguel Chain on MD Channel and stuff. I mean, like I said, we've got to get this guy on board because there is something going on in Brazil with bodybuilding. In fact, it was Patrick Tour that told me in 2017 when he was originally coaching Rafael Brandao when he made his pro debut in San Marino. And he said to me, because he'd just done a tour over there, like a seminar tour. And he said, Charles, I've never seen anything like it. He said, there's gyms on every street corner. He said, bodybuilding is absolutely exploding in Brazil. He said, it's so popular. He said, we have seminars. He said, and we arrive, we're like rock stars. He said, well, our names are up in lights. And he said, there's so much respect and love for bodybuilding here. So I bet they imagine that they're quite welcoming to you for that reason.
Look, like me, nobody know me. Nobody. I'm like a no-name, And when I came to Brazil, I make like a first video clip with Johan, like a training video clip.
Yeah.
Second day I go in the gym, like 20, 30 people came to you, want to take a picture with me.
Wow.
So it's that, like I said before, the energy is crazy. The people are crazy. Like the Expo and the Arnold's last year.
Yeah.
It was crazy. When Rafael come on stage, they go so crazy, the people, like you say, like a rock star. Like Rafael is a rock star.
Yeah.
Like Ramon also. They have securities. They have 5 people who protect them when they go to the Expo.
I couldn't believe, like at the Olympia, they had security with them at the Olympia. Ramondino and Horse MD, like these guys are like you're like, okay, someone really, really, really important just walked in the room.
Like Johan, when we go out, sometimes he go out to me to drink a coffee.
Yeah.
Because I'm alone, and so you need something to talk to somebody, And when we go out for 2 hours, like maybe 100 people want to take a picture.
Wow.
It's like a superstar.
Fantastic.
It's like a superstar. The people are so amazing.
I love it.
They love the sport. They love the sport. They love to train. They love to watch you. They love to talk to you about the sport. So it's growing. And I would say in 2-3 years will be a big takeover.
Good. No, I mean, as a bodybuilding fan, obviously, of like decades, I mean, I love hearing this kind of thing. I love to hear that bodybuilding anywhere in the world is being loved and respected. It's like Egypt now. Like my friend stayed over Friday night. He's in this episode, a guy called Paul Baxendale. He went to Egypt a few months ago, and he's a big guy. So in a t-shirt and shorts, you can tell he's a bodybuilder. And he said he's going up to these. He was traveling with an Egyptologist. And he went to like this village to see, the ruins and all that. And a taxi driver says, "Big Ramy," because obviously he starts doing that, going, "Big Ramy," the people in villages. He says in the middle of nowhere know who Big Ramy is because he's Egyptian. He's like, Rafael Brandao could, he's like mobbed when he walks down the street in Brazil. I keep hearing this, and I think it's amazing, mate.
But you know why I think that in Brazil, or like in Brazil, why the people love the sport so much? Because like USA, you have too much superstars. In Europe, you have a lot of superstars, like football players. So Manchester, Juventus, Cristiano, and all the people. And I think the people in Brazil, they don't have. Of course, they have Neymar and all that good star players, but when they see a superstar, like when they see Ramon or Rafael or Johan, they are like, they can be with him, They can be in the same gym, they can watch them train, so they are together. And that's why I think, the people and the sport are coming more and more and getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And the thing is with bodybuilders, and if you're a bodybuilding fan and you respect bodybuilding in Brazil, bodybuilders are easy to spot. Like guys will be walking out that door behind you now, and if you're in a t-shirt, they'll go, "That guy's a bodybuilder. He's cool."
Yes.
You know. So.
Yes. So it's amazing. The people are amazing. Like I say, I love it here. If I won't be alone, I will stay here for a long time.
Maybe there's a possibility for you to move there permanently. Who knows? And maybe the thing is, good opportunities. By the sounds of it, there's a lot more opportunity there for you as a bodybuilder than maybe there is in Germany. I don't know.
Yeah.
See how it goes. See how it goes.
In Germany, it's like when you go to the gym, when you get a bump, you take a shirt off, you have a tank top. The people look at you like, like you tell the people.
They don't respect it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sad. I'm sad to hear that.
But of course, not in every gym. You have some old school gyms, but the big gyms, like the industries, like I don't know if you heard about it, FitX and McFit and all the groups, they are growing more and more, and the small real bodybuilding gyms are falling down.
Right.
Sadly.
So let's talk about like how your physique has improved over the last year, because like you're making big improvements. You're very complete. You're not missing anything. The only way you can get better is just to literally just keep getting bigger and bigger, really, because like I said, your back is fantastic. Your legs are fantastic. You're not lacking anything. It's just more and more development. You're in a good spot, really. So, I suppose you can go by body weight, whatever. But how has your physique improved over the last year?
Look, 2 years ago when I did Prague, Romania, and Spain,
yep,
I was 115 kilograms.
Wow, okay.
115, 116, like this.
Yep.
Depends on the show, And last year, New York and Arnold's, I was 170.5.
Okay.
And this year, if everything goes right, I will be 119, 118.5, 119.
Good.
But with the same condition.
Jesus.
The same condition. So,
mate, your condition's fantastic. It always is. I mean, your condition is like top to toe, very, very, very good.
Thank you.
So
I believe, of course, I will be heavier. Like you say, I just try to keep the waist small.
Yeah.
And to grow everything. To grow the shoulders, the quad sweep, the arms, everything. Mm-hmm. So bodybuilding,
Good. Any injuries?
So what?
Any injuries?
No.
A few niggles or anything? Everything fine? Everything good? Because yesterday you said you're going to get massage, you're getting your chiropractor, because thing is, when you're 23, I remember when I was training when I was 23, I thought I was indestructible. I never got massaged or chiropractic and I was training hard and heavy for my body weight. So what about guys like yourself? You look after yourself, is what I'm saying.
I talked yesterday about this to Johan. He tell me the same. He tell me like, will he have like master chiropractor and this massage? He will never get injured.
Yeah.
So he say, it's important to do this. If you don't do this, if you just train and kill your body and every day, some muscle will say, goodbye, my friend.
Yeah.
So it's important to stretch, to take the massage, to fix everything that's possible. So that's the only job you have to do. You have to take care of your body. Mm-hmm. You have to train properly, to eat properly. And that's it.
Because believe it or not, you're 23, but you're not actually indestructible. You're not. We're not. So the thing is, like I said, when you're that age in your 20s, you just think nothing can hurt you. I can lift any weight. I can do anything, and you don't even think It's the last thing you think about. You just think, I'm strong, I'm big, I want to go lift that weight, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you know what? Until it happens, you don't realize.
I know. I understand you.
Listen to me.
I try to, like when I train alone, when I don't train with Johan, I try really like bench press and all the dangerous movements. I try to take them away because 2 years ago I go crazy in the gym. I go like in and I like you say, I don't think about anything. But I'm starting now.
Good.
I'm starting to thinking safety.
Please,
like,
please.
Emir, not today. Let's change. Let's do this. So if I feel something like in the shoulders, I'm training like not shoulders or chest. I'm training back or hamstrings or legs. So I try to go with the body. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's not so much tearing something or hurt. It's what you might happen to your body 10 years down the line. You might pay what you're doing now. You might pay for 10 years if you don't get massage, if you don't train smart. This is where your body's taking the most hammering. Plus, you're growing. You're really pushing your body. You're pushing its limitations every single day. So train smart and also recover smart.
100% right. 100%.
Good.
I tried. Sometimes you wanna just crush it, but
yeah.
But you're right. You need to think about it. You need to think about the future. But sometimes, you know how it is when you are young. You don't think about later or 10 years.
Yeah, I didn't.
Years. So I hope everything will be good and let's enjoy life.
Yep. Well, it sounds like you're having a great time in Brazil, mate. And I tell you what, isn't European bodybuilding doing well? I mean, we're doing amazing in the UK. But like last year at the New York Pro, you had Andrea Presti in third. You had Theo. You had you. Blessing. There's 4 guys in the 4 or 5 guys in the top 6 that were all, Mutsi. Guys. I mean, like a lot of the guys are going to American shows and we're filling up the spots.
Yes.
And they're competing a lot. And I mean, you've got young Vlad, who's another guy like 26, 27, who's just, we're absolutely taking the Pro League by storm.
I would say Europe is also growing. The bodybuilding in Europe is also growing. But I think the people need to respect and to be more open for bodybuilding, In Europe, I have to feel it's sometimes like, bodybuilder, no. In USA, it's like, bodybuilder, great.
Yeah.
It's the same, And I think when the people like will fall in love with the sport,
yeah,
the sport will explode everything and grow. And of course, we have a lot of great athletes in Europe, like in UK, Samson. Look what Samson did. He killed it.
Not bad at all.
He beat Nick.
Yeah.
He beat Nick. So for me, in my opinion, Samson can win the Olympia. 100%. 100%. I believe in him. He can win next 2 years the Olympia.
Yep.
And look, Nathan Diasha is also coming back. James,
Hollinshead?
I think he say like he want to compete for 2 more years.
Yep. Yeah, well, he says that. He might. They always say that just keep him, training hard and stuff. Yeah. He might go longer, I think.
And of course, Andrea Presti from Italy.
Yeah.
Theo from France.
Big Vlad.
Vlad
Yeah.
from Ukraine, and we have a lot of great athletes in Europe.
Look,
they just need to show more up in US. Not just doing the Europe shows.
Yeah.
Of course, but to be honest, the best shows are in Europe for me. Like Romania and Spain was for me greater than I was like in New York.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to explain. Like it's.
We were there, mate. We were there. We saw.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The stage was great.
Yeah.
The organization was great.
The venue.
So, yes, everything was good. So it was great. It was great.
Do us a favor though. Come back to Romania, mate, because we'll be there doing the live stream. We'll be there. So I want to see you there, mate.
When is Romania?
Is it November? November, mate. Yeah, November. Come on, come over and do it.
If I don't get the qualification, you will see me.
Ah, 100%. Right, Emir. Right, so hang on. What is it next week? Isn't it next week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks out now?
2 weeks, 14 days.
14 days. 2 weeks out now, mate. So I'll be watching the live stream. I'm doing a live review thing, like a live watch party for MD. I'll be doing that with Miguel. So really excited to be doing that, mate. And I want to see you in that first call out. Giving Belarus hell. Giving Vitor cold sweats.
I will do my best. Of course, I will do.
Good man.
Everything what is in my hands. Everything.
I believe you.
Everything.
I believe you.
Everything.
Cool. All right then, mate. Well, I'm gonna, and also, mate, you actually cancelled yesterday. I've got a confession. Well, yesterday we had a technical issue with this laptop, and I was just about to message you to say I don't think we can fix it. Can we cancel? And then you messaged. Can we? And you said, I can't do it today. I was like, thank God. I went, yeah, go on. That's fine. Yeah, go on. Then I'll let you off. I was like, yes. We'll rebook him for tomorrow. We'll be fine. We'll do it, and it'll be great. So, and I was really tired as well. So I feel like it all worked out beautifully in the end, mate.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, Emir.
Thank you for having me. I'm enjoying this. You supporting me, of course, and you give me the opportunity to talk in English that the English-speaking people understand me around the world. So I'm very thankful. Thank you really for having me. And I know my English is not the best, but I'm learning, and I think we're getting better and better.
It's better than mine. It's better than mine, mate. It's better than mine. All right then, mate, I'll let you go, and like I said, we'll be watching on the live stream and cheering for you, mate, and I can't wait. It's going to be really exciting.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Emir. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, and welcome to Season 5, Episode 26 of MD Global Muscle Hot News. Of course, we've had a bit of a special episode this week. Also joined again once by Lady T. Lauren Lotte, who's yawning already. We've just bloody started. Come on, woman. So put the camera on yourself.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Did you wave to everyone?
Yes.
You weren't yawning, I hope.
No.
Please. Yes, very rude.
No, I wasn't yawning.
It's like someone belching right before you start filming because somebody gives you bloody fizzy water and then complains when somebody might particularly in that studio I'm not saying break wind, no, what's the other one? Belching, burping, and then you complain. Anyway, we won't go there. Right, okay, then obviously we had a bit of a mixed up episode because we had an in-studio guest, a very, very good friend of mine called Paul Baxendale. How do I even introduce Paul? Because he was a very, very good super heavyweight back in the day in the EFBB and the UKBFF in British bodybuilding. He was it 2 or 3 years he was training with Dorian, did he say? It's a couple of years, wasn't it?
Doing a win before this first Mr. Olympia win.
Yeah, are you coming to the mic? Can I hear you? I can't really hear you. Can you put yourself up? Third dial. I need to hear you. Third dial, darling. Right, okay, then so I can hear you. Yes, so anyway, so he was a training partner of Dorian Yates, the 6-time Mr. Olympia, 1992 to 97. An academic, a very, 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 very clever guy, very well read, and does his own podcast now. And he said actually in the interview that it was me that pulled him back into the sport when I invited him to come along to the UKBFF Scottish show where Flex Lewis was guest posing. So I got him and his wife Amanda got him tickets, and we met up at the show. We had a wonderful time, and he said that kind of sparked his interest because he had an accident where he fell through some stairs when he was living down under in Australia
in 2008.
2008. Okay, I don't remember the exact year. So he smashed his hips up, and he said he thought it was God's way or whatever, saying that, you shouldn't be bodybuilding anymore. And he threw all his trophies out, and he said he completely moved away from bodybuilding because it was his life and his passion for so many years. Owned a gym back down in Wiltshire. Then they moved out to Australia, started some food company. And so anyway, me and Paul became friends probably just under 10 years ago. And I don't actually remember when we competed together in Germany.
It was 2005.
Oh. I know the year. No, because I competed in. Even though I was a Welsh bodybuilder, I competed in the Scottish show, and I won my class there, and they put me on the Scottish team for the.
Oh, that's where you know Paul from.
Paul. Well, I don't remember him, but he says he remembers me. I think he said we were talking backstage, and we were all tanned up, ready to go on stage. Obviously, he was a super heavyweight because he was twice the size of me. Because they put me in the heavyweights, I was only just into the heavyweights. So I was like, and the winner of the category was like a foot shorter, and he was my weight, and he was probably at the top of the weight limit. He's probably like 99 kilo. I was a lot less than that, but I was obviously over 90 kilo. Otherwise, I'd have been a light heavy because I qualified as an intermediate, but I did really well in the overall. So they put me in the team at the Scottish show. So you look really bored.
No, I'm just trying to.
Is that your thinking face, not your bored face? I can't tell.
I got really sleepy all of a sudden.
Okay, got really sleepy. Well, we're going to get another guest soon because obviously we're filming it in a bit of a funny order again this week. But so anyway, so for Paul, very, very interesting guy. As you heard in the interview, I'm really happy we finally got him into the studio. And the reason he was down, because he lives in the top of Scotland. Yes, I know he lives in Scotland. Stop finishing my sentences, woman. My God. So anyway, and he laughing. So anyway, yes, he was down to because basically Charlie Malden drove the Ultraflex gym. It's a bit of a gym franchise here in the UK. They started with one in Leeds. It was probably about 7 years ago, I think. And then they got one in Durham. They had in York. Anth Bales, the 212 bodybuilder. Stop yawning.
Sorry.
They've all basically, it's a bit of a, but it's like a franchise, a gym sort of chain, and I think there's about 5 or 6 of them now. And they've just opened a gigantic one in North Leeds. And Charlie has actually bought all of the gym equipment from the original Temple Gym where Dorian Yates built his physique, 6-time Sandow winning Olympia physique. And so he's bought all the equipment and he's divided it up amongst all the gyms. And he's basically in each of these, because they're very shiny, nice. I mean, they're hardcore gyms, but they're more like for the trendy gym crowds, the TikTokers, We'll come to that later. And basically, they've put these metal cages, literally, in each part of the gym, and they call it the hardcore section. And in each hardcore cage, they have pieces from the original Temple Gym. So obviously, Paul was one of the ones that originally trained with Dorian on that equipment. So basically, they asked Paul to come down and cut the ribbon and open the hardcore section of the gym. So that was where he was yesterday, because we're filming this the day after Paul came in. Sometimes we split the filming over 2 days. But yeah, so it was really cool. So I thought, well, obviously he asked to stay over. So I said, well, we've got to get you in the studio. Let's talk about British bodybuilding, because British bodybuilding, oh my God, with the recent success of Samson Dowder winning the Arnold Classic, our biggest win in bodybuilding for 25 years, I mean, obviously we had Flex Lewis winning the 212 from 2012, 2008, 7 times. But the actual open pro bodybuilding, we have not seen a win this big since 1997 Mr. Olympia, which was won, of course, by Mr. Olympia himself, Dorian Yates. What was his nickname? Dorian. The Shadow. Oh, God. How can I forget? Oh, my God. How can I forget that? That's one of the biggest, most famous nicknames ever. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. And I'm going to quickly go to his Instagram account, because I'm telling you guys, if you want to, because he's such a beautiful writer. If you want to check out these stories, I mean, look at these posts here now. Obviously, quick click to the Instagram. Obviously, there's a lot of pictures of Dorian Yates, Lee Haney. And the thing is, a lot of these stories are personal stories, personal accounts of Paul when he trained with Dorian Yates. And, obviously firsthand, I mean, you can't get any better than that unless it was from Dorian himself. So, I mean, obviously there's pictures of Dorian, but look at the size of the post next to it, the text, because these are really, really, you cannot get more of an insider kind of view than what Paul is giving you here. So if you're a fan of the 90s bodybuilding, or you were a 90s bodybuilder yourself, and you want to find out and learn about all these kind of incredible times, because they were amazing times. I started following the sport in 1990 when Dorian Yates just took second in his first pro show at the Night of Champions to Mohammed Benaziza, rest in peace. And so just go check out his Instagram, because he really puts a lot of time and effort. And a lot of these stories I've never heard before. These are kind of stories that you didn't see in Muscular Development or in Flex Magazine back in the day. So they're they're just gold. So please go check out Paul Baxendale's account, and you will hear just incredible stories. I mean, it really gives, and he goes into so much detail. There's so much passion and so much, detail that goes into, him describing, the workouts with Dorian Yates, the experiences, being a 90s bodybuilder, being a fan of bodybuilding, the pro bodybuilding of the 90s. And he's kind of come full circle, because now he's kind of on the periphery. And I think people like Paul have a real place in this industry. He does a little bit of coaching, and I know he's in contact with a lot of the top pros. They respect his opinion, and I think he's doing some sort of collaboration with Dorian as well. I think that's on looking like it's going to be likely. So that's exciting. So I'd love to see Paul get involved in something like show promotion or or maybe just do his coaching in a bigger way, because, I mean, he'd be a fantastic personal trainer, because Paul is, I mean, I saw him with his top off in the house the other day. I went in to get my shirt, and he was just walking out of the ensuite bathroom. I mean, he's 57. I mean, he's, you know, he sometimes he's in a wheelchair, you know, he's always on a crutch. And I tell you what, he still looks incredible. He's still big, really big. And like Ronnie Coleman said, jacked. And also there's a bit of a connection as well with myself and Paul with the famous comic artist Simon Bisley. Simon Bisley, I don't know whether you remember, I've spoke about Simon Bisley did a piece for Ronnie Coleman of Ronnie Coleman as Batman. And basically Ronnie was over for the 2016 Body Power Expo, and Paul basically drove down from Scotland all the way and presented it to Ronnie. We had it photographed, and he put it in Flex magazine, and it was very, very, very cool. Ronnie was really made up, because Ronnie was in a lot of pain on that trip, and it was touch and go whether he was going to come. And I said, Ronnie, look, please, I really hope you can make it, because we've got a really lovely surprise for you. I did actually take a lot of the credit, which I didn't really deserve, because it was Paul that set that up with Simon, because Simon's obviously a big fan of bodybuilding as well. So yes, it was, yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, I could get Paul in 10 times and we still wouldn't even scratch the surface of, you know, this guy's knowledge and passion and a lot of what, you know, what he has to offer bodybuilding still. So, but like I said, go check out his Instagram and check out these incredible stories that you will not read anywhere in the magazines, because this guy was there. He was experiencing it. He trained with Dorian. He trained with him, and Dorian picked him. I mean, at the end of the day, Dorian picked him to train with him. So that tells you there's something pretty special about Paul. So, yeah, so like Paul, you know, check out his podcast and everything, because this guy's, he's built a bit different mentally and physically, Paul. And there's a reason why he's one of my best friends. And I really do value him. He's a very, very interesting guy. And when he talks, it's worth listening to. So, yeah, so like I said, check out his Instagram, bodybuilding academic, 40 years training, competing and coaching, old school, heavy duty, high intensity. I love the iron, 57, drop the mic. So anyway, okay, we're going to go on to our next guest, who we're just about to interview after this hot news. So please turn up, Amir. Otherwise, I'm going to look a complete like I did the other week. So it doesn't happen very often, but you know, sometimes it does. And it's usually sod's law when we do hot news before the guest comes on, because like I said, we normally film hot news after the guest. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, Emir Omeragic, I mean, 23 years old this kid is. He's already took second in a pro show at the Big Man Weekend at 2021 in Spain, where myself and Lauren were doing live stream. Second to Angel Calderon. He beat Danny Kaganovic, beat some other very, very good bodybuilders in Europe. He was top 6 at the New York Pro last year in 2022. Here we are. So he was 6th place at the, 20, what was he, 22 here? 20, I think he was probably 22 here. 22 years old. And the thing is, I've seen this guy up close. Do you remember we were on stage doing the wrap up for MD? Do you remember? And you remember he walked past and he jumped in. Yes, he jumped in the wrap up. Yeah. So that was Amir. And he's prepped by Chris Aceto, so he's got a very, very good coach. But 23 years old, I mean, what more can you say? I mean, this guy has such a great future. I'm very interested to see how he's going to be looking at the Arnold Brazil, because obviously, you know, this kid's come from nowhere. Incredible physique. He's already, like I said, he's gained second. He's had a second in any pro show is incredible. At 23 is absolutely mind-blowing. Top 6 of the New York Pro. So this kid is off to a very, very, very strong start. And I mean, in 7 years, Lauren, he'll just be turning 30. Oh, God. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, bastard. Yeah. So I mean, it's just I'm literally double his age. Oh. But I mean, the muscle this kid has got, and I mean, look at it. Thing is, he's big, he's conditioned. Did you see? Do you remember when we used to watch Titans? Who did you remind you of?
Let me think. Let me see.
Look, watch.
Let me see him up close.
Hang on. Remember the guy with the dog? Do you remember? Come on.
Oh my gosh. No.
Titans, the last series. Remember the guy with the t-shirt? The black girl?
No.
Oh my God, Lauren. You don't remember Titans?
No.
Superboy.
He's super.
No, he looks like Superboy. No, come on. Look at the black hair. Come on, Lauren, please. Work with me here. Come on. Oh my God, useless. Right, okay then. Oh my God, so this is how he's looking now. So what is he, 23 years old? I mean, my God, and he's sort of like gyno out, mate. Can't be turning up on stage with that. So, you know, there's no...
Just point out the gyno, because I never really know
this,
what it looks like.
That there, see?
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, see that there? Okay. That's gynecomastia. we call it gyno for short or bitch tits because it's a slight aromatization. Basically, it's when there's an excess of testosterone in the body and basically the body throws out estrogen to counteract it and it causes some tissue growth around the nipple area. Oh, basically, that is breast tissue that's growing.
Oh.
I know. So, guys, you don't want that on stage.
That can happen?
Yeah, gynecomastia. Yeah. So, and it can be avoided by, either going very, very easy on the test, but sometimes it can just happen with any anabolics. It can actually, I've even seen natural bodybuilders with it. Well, they say they're natural.
Does it happen to females?
What? Well, that's a question. It's covered anyway, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, no, because women have more estrogen. No, God, let's not get into that. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert on such matters. So otherwise, rumors will start. So so let's have a look. Lauren, any pictures you want to look at? Any videos? My God, he's huge. Look at him there next to a mere mortal. And he's tall as well, isn't he? He's like my height.
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Come on, Lauren.
There's so many of you guys.
Hang on, he's 3 weeks out here.
Oh, wow.
It looks like he's put some size on.
Yeah, it looks massive.
He doesn't. He's 23 years old. How is that possible, Lauren?
I don't know.
I mean, that is just... I recognize this guy. Johann Schatz, Trenada. Johann Schatz. Is that the bodybuilder? Well, it probably is. Steve Bentham. Look. I can't read German. Oh my God, what am I talking about? So let's have a look. There he is with next to the famous Austrian bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's from the 1974 Olympia. Oh. So, I mean, he wasn't even born then. My God. That's crazy, isn't it? So how are we doing for light, Lauren? Are we looking, because we're losing daylight here, so we've got to stay... Okay, got to keep it going. So let's have a look at let's have a look, come on. Oh, so here he was at the Arnold Brazil last year. I can't remember what he placed. Where did he place? Was he 4th or 5th? I mean, so he's obviously going back to the Arnold...
Africa.
So, no, this is the... Oh, yeah, South Africa. Yeah, right, yeah. Sorry, why did I get that? Hang on.
Classic.
Arnold Classic, and it's the South, so that's the South America Brazilian. No, Brazil. That's Brazil.
Are you sure?
Yeah, South America is Brazil. Isn't it?
Oh,
Isn't it? So, yeah. Okay. No, because I remember him competing, and I really like the lighting at that show because everyone looks shredded.
He looks fantastic.
He does, doesn't he?
My mistake, everyone. It's
yeah.
Brazil.
Stop confusing me, Lauren. Tell you what, I mean, I'm interested to see how much muscle he's put on as well because he's, like I said, thing is, you don't want to keep mentioning their age because it is incredible when an athlete's really young or really old and they're still looking amazing. Hang on, what does that say? I can't see it shining. What does it say? What does it say the placing? 3rd, 4th? Oh, top 5. So 5th or 4th. So I'm guessing that was, because if it says top 4, he's going to be 4th, isn't he? You're not going to give someone 3rd and say top 5, are you? Or 4th?
Somebody says I was top 10 and 10 line out. Well,
yeah, I was well, yeah.
He came he placed very well.
He did place very well. Yeah, so I like his back as well. I like the readable bicep. Look at that. Separation, the density, the lower lats. Take heed, Rami. Yeah, very, very good. Oh, here we are. This is last year. So this was the Arnold South America last year. So he hasn't posted much since last year. He's obviously gone very quiet. Obviously just wanted to put the work in. There's William Martins. Okay. He's a Brazilian athlete. We've had him on Global when Miguel Chain did the translation for us. So hang on, I stopped playing it there. Let's have a look at this. So yes, condition's really good. He's got a nice amount of muscle. He's not lacking any body parts. Needs to watch the waist, make sure that he's keeping the waist nice and tight. But look at him, he's very detailed. He's got a lot of muscle maturity for 23. I think with Emir, when it comes to Emir and Kalasinski, the whole argument for muscle maturity completely goes out of the window because like muscle maturity, density, striations, detail, that kind of muscle hardness and kind of that maturity. These guys are like 23, 24. And they're completely throwing that out the window because they have all that. So they've got it at a very young age. So any argument you had for the muscle maturity argument is completely shit over by Emir and Urs. So who's this guy here? I recognize this guy. This guy here. I don't know who he is. I recognize him. He looks really good though. So yeah, so Arnold Brazil looks like it's going to be a really exciting contest. We have, I think Sergio. I believe Sergio is out. I've not seen it confirmed anywhere. But so he's. I don't know whether he's pulled out of competing this season completely, or whether he's just going to do a later show. I'm guessing maybe that week in, with the accident, that guy died. I'm guessing that the week, involved with that, I think that maybe put him a bit too behind, and maybe he wants to push back to do another show. I think that would be the smart move, because obviously he doesn't want to get that prep go to waste. But look at the condition. Wow, time to beat this. So this is obviously last year. Bloody awesome. I mean,
that's a really nice X shape. Like,
it's good, isn't it?
That is really stunning.
Yeah.
Well done, Emir.
Very, very impressive.
Well done, Chris Aceto.
Yeah, Chris. The thing is, Chris doesn't just work with anyone. So, he obviously sees real potential in young Emir. So, I mean, look at that. This was in, do you remember this?
This is Romania Muscle Fest.
2021, yeah. I don't remember him so much when we were there. I don't remember him. I can't remember, because obviously we went to, I had last year's Romania show in my head. What do you remember?
I remember Ashley.
Ashley.
I was so focused on that.
Oh, Romania. Yeah, of course. Yeah. yeah. Because Ashley Coltwasser obviously won. We started the Olympia All-Star Tour with Ashley Coltwasser. We started in Romania. We did a few days in the UK, and then we ended up in Spain, where Ashley got a first in Romania, which got the record of 30 pro wins, beat Dexter's win. What is she up to now? 35, 36?
Oh, boy.
What is she? Come on, Lauren. Mike.
36?
36. So, I mean, there's no one coming close to Ashley Coltwasser in terms of, of all the pro divisions. She is absolutely destroying the, Dexter Jackson's record of 29. And you got guys like Ronnie Coleman, Kevin Navarone, I think in the mid-20s. So she's left everyone for dust now. So I'd imagine that'll be a while before that gets beat. So thank you, Lauren. Just adjusting the lighting there. Light me up, because we are losing sunlight very, very quick. And Domino wants to come in, but I'm not letting him in until we finish the hot news. So let's have a look at one more picture, and then we'll move on to... I like his most muscular as well. I like his back. I like the back. Look at this. This is awesome. I think I've seen this shot before. I mean, look at the thickness for this kid. He's so young. I mean, it's incredible. So, oh my God, you're amazing. Some of the comments. Do you ever look at some of the comments when bodybuilders put up really good progress videos or photos?
I do.
There's some really weird ones. I mean, I'm trying to... Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have to do an episode of Power Hour, myself and Ron Harris, and we'll have to try and find the 5 weirdest comments, or maybe ask the athletes, what's the weirdest comment you've ever read or had DM to you from a fan, either publicly or privately. I'd be very... What's the weirdest one you've had, Lauren?
Oh,
was it? Don't say it was from me, because you can't. That doesn't count. That doesn't count, Lauren. What was it? Come on.
I don't know, but it's too private.
Okay, too private. Well, that's because you can't remember. That's why. So anyway, that's pretty much all I want to see on Emir's Instagram. So go check him out. Like I said, incredible young athlete, competing at the Arnold Brazil. So Emir, all the best for the Arnold Brazil. Really excited to see you going up against Lauren. He's going to be going against Behrooz Tabani, gold guy.
I like Behrooz.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, I think he will win. But Amir's going to give him hell. And like I said, you don't know what Amir's been up to in the last year. So, and he's kept it under wraps. I mean, apart from this picture here, we don't really know what Amir's been up to in the last year. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what he's going to bring to the stage. Because like I said, these young guys, they're improving so bloody fast. So quickly, let's go to Bodybuilders Without Borders. Let's see what's up on there. Come on, guys. Because there was one show. Oh shit, what's this?
That's a story.
Oh yeah, I know. It's I accidentally clicked on it. This trackpad is very, very sensitive. Let's quickly look. There was a show this weekend, the Muscle Contest Fit World Pro Prejudging. I'd imagine this was in Brazil somewhere. Because that's usually where the bulk of the muscle contest shows by Tamer El Guindi are held. Obviously, we've got the Muscle Contest Island coming up as well in a few weeks' time. This was a classic show. There's no placings yet. But so this was the classic show. This is the pro show last weekend. I don't have any other details apart from on here. So go check out Bodybuilders Without Borders. And you can check out maybe some more results, maybe posted tomorrow. Here we are. Here we go. So we have Damien... Oh, no. The Bullet. Oh, I wish they put their bloody names in their Instagram accounts. It's really annoying. Hang on, let's click on this guy. Let's give him his dues. So we have the Bullet, Eric Brown Jr. This is the guy that won his So he's got a qualification for the Olympia now. How many? I hope we don't end up with the amount of classic guys. Because thing is, they've only done away with the points. They still Do you know what I mean? That's only going to take away a few competitors. I mean, we could have like 50 plus again at the Olympia. I think that would be disastrous. I think to get those kinds of numbers, I think it's too much. And I can imagine the Pro League will be looking to find a way to fix this issue, because imagine if in the future we ended up with all pro divisions, you know, you'd have to split the Olympia up over 3 days.
Not just that, but it's like how
Microphone.
many shows are going to come into the fold?
What do you mean?
New shows.
Yeah.
Will we have more that... Because as it grows in popularity, each country will want to put on shows. So if each one has a pro qualifier, you'll be ending up with a lot more than just 50 on stage.
I mean, we had it was nearly 30 in the men's open, you know, and all the other divisions. I mean, and the thing is, and also it does drag the show out too much. And there's people out who fly all the way out to the Olympia or the Arnold's, the Arnold's Invitational. It's a bit different. And they want to see... You know, they want to see the whole show. They don't want to miss anything. And it's actually physically impossible if they get to 50, 60 in every single division. So I'm sure the Pro League are looking into this, because last year was chaos. It was great in so many ways. Great to see so many great physiques, so much new talent coming through. But nightmare for the judges, and like I said, we want to see the best of the best at the Olympia. No disrespect, and there's guys prepping and putting like a lot of their time and money into this to basically be on stage for a few minutes. And the more competitors, the less time on stage there is for everyone. So there is that as well. So anyway, Damien Patrick was second. The Black Rambo was third. Can You Lift in fourth. And Justin Badurina in fifth place. So congratulations, gentlemen. Yes, that's really literally all it is. All there is in terms of pro shows. Look at this guy. I'm seeing some massive quads here. Let's check these out. Oh, wow. Another Korean athlete. Wow. And they've all got amazing legs. Have you noticed? I thought this was Branch Chen. Branch Chen, you know, these other incredible like Korean and Asian athletes. And they all have very similar physiques, similar height, similar structure. They have long waists. They lack a bit of back. There's that Pyongyang guy, the Thai guy as well. He's got a very similar physique to this. So Shuru Classic in 11 weeks. Maybe that's the one they'll be having in India, because that's where Shuru is from. He's a promoter around the world, run amateur Olympias and pro shows. So yeah, another great looking physique there. I thought it was Ron Harrison. This is Javi Senas, age 30, looks promising. 5 weeks out from the Copa Valencia, classic physique. So yeah, that was pretty much all I want. Oh, Joe Seaman, giving us a bit of an update. 7 weeks out from the New York Pro. Oh, great to see. So I didn't know that Joe was jumping into the New York Pro. So, because of course we've got the Arnold Brazil is next, and then we're all going to be talking about the New York Pro. And so we're kind of finding out now who is going to be jumping into that event. So I like Joe. He's a cool guy. I've had him on a few times. Look at his back. Fantastic. He's done pretty well. He got fourth in his first pro show the day after turning pro in Toronto. I want to say 2019, I think. And yeah, really good physique. Came and did the Arnold's UK last year. Mm-hmm. Recommended a couple of gyms to him while he was over here. So, God, who's this guy? He's really good as well. Lee Yang. Wow. They all have the similar sounding names, don't they? Lee Yang Min.
Amazing.
He looks good, doesn't he? Wow. He reminds me of... what's his name? The guy who got 12th Olympia. Oh my God. Lee Seung Chul. Yeah, reminds me of him. Big delts, big legs, big calves, kind of wide shoulders, big, thick, kind of 4-dimensional shoulders. But this guy looks great. He's amateur. Wow. So yeah, it's great to see so many good bodybuilders coming over from that part of the world as well, from Japan and Thailand. And, you know, because we had the Thai pro qualifier a few weeks ago. Yeah, a lot of great shows. Brazilian Storm, Rodriguez Calfalcantio 6. Okay, that's obviously not his name, Rodrigo, but great quads. Obviously a classic guy. Right, okay then. That's pretty much all I want to see on there. I'm going to go to, because this caught my eye. I think we all need to remind ourselves just how freaking great the Ronnie Coleman was. I mean, look at this. I'm going to put some volume on.
Man, there's very few.
Oh, it's too loud. Hang on, let's turn the volume down. Where's the volume? Okay, I've lost it. Okay, let's turn the volume down to there. Okay, now, and I'm going to press it. Sorry, I'm just funny around with the thing.
It is
so
wild people.
There we go. This Branch Warren. Hey, Ronnie, Lauren, who's that?
Look, Mr. Branch Warren.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I didn't know who he was.
Hang on.
I take it all back. Now I know exactly who he is. So, okay.
There we are, buddy. So there's Ronnie pressing the whole gym above his head.
How old is Ronnie here?
Ronnie, this would have been, I'm guessing this would have been, oh shit. That would have been, oh God, my brain's gone blank. 2003. Wow. 2003. Oh, so it's Ronnie and Branch. Basically, this is a video about training intensity. There's Keon, we had on the other week. There's Martin Fitzwater. So I've trained at Metroflex, absolutely fantastic gym. So, I mean, I don't think anything will even be I don't think I'll ever even match Ronnie. Because Ronnie was just a mutant. I saw Branch and Johnny training shoulders in Metroflex, August 2012. Right. I was there training. Yeah, I mean, this is a warm-up weight for Ronnie. Look at him, he's playing with it. Look at the form. Oh my God, how did they not tear every single muscle on their body? How did they do? Honestly, how can you train like that? I mean, Ronnie's form's loose, but it's not Branch Warren loose. Look at that. Look at the traps. I mean, I think it's easy to forget just how amazing, just how incredible Ronnie Coleman was. Ronnie was an absolute mutation. I mean, he was just incredible. Right, anyway, quickly.
I've never seen Branch look like that ever.
Well, he was, yeah. He was, I mean, he's big. He was big when you saw him, but I mean, he's half the size that he used to be. I mean, Branch Warren was a monster. Wow. Absolute monster. So, okay, we're going to finish off quickly. I want to get you all to remind you to watch the Power Hour, myself and Ron Harris on MD. By the time you watch this, it would have gone out on the Monday. So check it out. It's a really, really good in-depth talk. We started off talking about TikTokers in gyms, but thing is, I couldn't really comment because it's not like that at my gym, at Legends Gym. You don't, what are you looking at me like that for? You're judging me, Lauren.
No.
You're judging me, Lauren. About the TikTokers with the tripods in gyms, and apparently, like Ron was saying, he said like it's a thing in gyms now. Mm-hmm. Like and if you train at like a sort of semi-hardcore gym, and there's people literally all like trying to be YouTube influencers or whatever, or or whatever, or Instagram influencers. I don't know what the hell the term is. People like, getting aggro when you're walking in their shot. It's a freaking gym.
I know. That annoys me.
Pisses me off.
I've done both. I've done both where I've wanted to take a video.
Yeah.
Maybe
put the camera in.
Sorry.
Come on.
Maybe not to become like an influencer or whatever, but to check my form. But I don't care necessarily if somebody walks in the shop because I know that they're trying to get to a piece of equipment. But I do think like Instagram influencers and whatever, you need to be more considerate of people that are actually going to the gym too.
100%. I mean,
Lauren, gym, it's not necessarily to be there as a filming session. If you're gonna film, maybe you should inquire about hiring out the space.
Lauren,
and then going at like 6 a.m. when no one is there.
Lauren, honestly, if that became a big issue in my gym, I would start kicking tripods over, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. In fact, I don't even like when people put their phone on the gym floor. They literally have it. No, let me finish. They literally put it on the gym floor, and it's in the free weights area, and dumbbells are being dropped, weights are being dropped. And thing is, these things are like £1,000. If I drop a phone on someone, I don't want somebody there now getting aggro because I've accidentally dropped a dumbbell on the thing. They shouldn't be on the gym floor. Basically, that's my point. But anyway, watch the power. Lauren, please. Watch the power out. Watch the power hour because myself and Ron go into great detail on this, and you can hear more about basically us discussing this very, very topic. So check it out. And like I said, we're absolutely loving the power hour now. We're really power hour. We're going to get into a really good flow with this now. We've had some great guests on, Milos Sarge, Bob Chick, and so we're into. And I think myself and Miguel are doing one together. What are you laughing at? We're laughing at. No, we've got to move on. We got bloody Emir in 5 minutes. Oh. So yes, there you go. So just when I if I give you when I do the what's it and friends.
I hate that.
I know. That's why I do it. Right. Okay then, guys. So we're gonna have to go anyway because we quickly got a guest. So who you'll have watched by the time you watch this. I hope he turns up. So so then that's all the filming done. And also, Lauren, do you want to quickly tell us? You've got 10-15 seconds to tell us about what is coming back and what we did yesterday in this very studio. Go.
All right, you guys. So Buff Bombshell will be coming back for the females on muscular development. And yesterday I had the pleasure of doing the first 2 episodes with Mel Lewis, an NPC amateur bikini competitor, somebody who's also from South Africa, lives in the UK. And it's very exciting. So please watch it. Please get your girlfriends to watch it. And I hope that you like it.
There you go. Click back to me, please. Yeah. Okay then, guys. And also do not forget to check out the Oh, I can never do this properly. You check out the latest issue of MD with Chris Bumstead on the cover. Sorry, because I'm in a rush now. For the fantastic issue. Check it out. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And and I hope you've enjoyed this episode of MD Global Muscle. Bit of a mix, like I said, with an in-studio guest and a Skype guest. I don't know what Lauren's doing, but she's trying to distract me. Okay, then, guys. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out.